And it's time for high school football from Nashua as the Crimson Tide are played host to by Nashua. And now, with the start of festivities this afternoon, your hosts for the afternoon sports activity, Harvey Smith and Bruce Lavoie.
Thank you very much, Dale, and welcome to Hallman Stadium, everybody. You know, nearly 3 months ago, back on August 12th, 33 football teams reported for their first practices across the state here in New Hampshire. The temperature was 92 degrees on that first day, and the humidity was oppressive. Double sessions were in order, as coaches took advantage of longer days without classes to worry about. And as the regular season unfolded, the days grew shorter, and winter sent her messengers out to strip the leaves that colored the playing fields. The season is over now for 33 teams who put their equipment away a week ago. Winter's chill is here, but that doesn't faze the 16 teams that start out anew this afternoon in quest of a state football championship. One of those teams is the Concord High School Crimson Tide, who came through a must-win situation last week in Dover to enter today's Class L quarterfinals. Hello, everybody. Along with Bruce Lavoie, I'm Harvey Smith, and we are excited to be bringing you high school playoff football over WKXL as the Crimson Tide visits Hallman Stadium in Nashua for the first time in 2 years to renew one of the great rivalries in the New Hampshire football ranks. It's the Class L quarterfinal round here on the radio. And we want to remind you that high school football is brought to you by the Allied Insurance Agency at 500 South Street on the Bowtown line. At the Allied Insurance Agency, your protection is their profession. By S&W Sports Shop, 238 South Main Street in Concord. When it comes to bikes, cross-country, and alpine skiing, bring the entire family to the leader, S&W Sports. By the Horizon Bank at 197 Loudon Road in Concord, your locally owned and managed community bank. Denroy Shoes on board again this year. They're at 76 North Main Street in Concord, featuring athletic footwear for the entire family. Bernie Sports of Concord. If you're outfitting a team for the fall or winter seasons, call Jim Bernie at 224-2131. He'll come to your home or your office. And by the Capital City law firm, Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and Oyer, on behalf of their clients and the community. Concord and Nashua meeting for the 88th time. On the gridiron here in the state of New Hampshire, Nashua leads 45 wins, Concord 36 wins. There have been 6 ties. The first game was played back in 1900, and it ended in a scoreless tie. And 4 weeks later, they met again for a second time in 1900, and Concord High would win the game 10-6. Dave Adams was the coach back there in 1900, and now today they meet under conditions for the second time in the last. If you remember back to 87, the Crimson Tide upset an undefeated Purple Panther team here at Hallman Stadium on its way to the title back in 87. It was 14-7 back then, and now Concord High is in an underdog role once again as they come in here ranked number 6 against the 7-1 Purple Panthers. And Bruce Lavoie is on board with me, as he has been all year long. And Bruce, you can feel the tension already around this stadium.
Absolutely. There's a large crowd gathering and under cloudy conditions, but no rain right now. We're supposed to see some shades of the sun a little bit later on this afternoon, which will be good news. Harvey, despite the activity, and this field in Nashua at Hallman Stadium has been used similar to the way Concord's Memorial Field has been used over the years, where they have had the soccer tournament going on here as well this week. And this field is in absolutely perfect condition. It is great. I know you were out on the field earlier. Are the conditions as good underfoot as they are from the way they look up here in the stands?
Outstanding conditions. Even the baseball part of the infield has been scarified and rolled and swept, and the footing is excellent. It is not soft. The footing is very, very good. There are no soft spots on the field, despite torrential downpours here during the middle of the week that actually postponed some of the soccer games. The soccer games that were scheduled at Memorial Field in Concord were, in fact, run off as scheduled, but here they were postponed because they had horrendous downpour on Wednesday and Thursday nights. But the field here is dry, as Bruce told you, and Concord and Nashua are out on this field getting ready for quarterfinal play. The Purple Panthers in their home purple uniforms. They are entirely dressed in purple. Purple shirts, purple pants, purple helmets with the white N on the helmets and what dressing up the purple a little bit. Concord High in their completely all-white uniforms with crimson numerals and crimson stripes on their helmets. There's a new guy here in the state of New Hampshire, Bob Almeyer. He's been here for 2 years now. He came from Tewksbury, Massachusetts to take over the fortunes of Nashua High. They've had 3 coaches in the last 4 years, and he's added some stability, but quite frankly, very, very nervous heading into this year's playoff. Coach, over here from Tewksbury, Massachusetts, second year at Nashua, 15-4. That's a nice record here in the state of New Hampshire. Welcome to our state.
Well, thank you very much. It's that's not been an easy record to get. I'll tell you, the teams are very tough, and we're thankful that everything is okay, so far.
Okay. Coach, you've been around the state for 2 years. First time against Concord. Is it tough playing a team that you've never been on the field with before?
Yeah, I'm real scared about it, to be very honest with you, Javi. They're an outstanding team. They have great tradition, great coaching staff, great bunch of kids there. So this is a real challenge for us, no question.
A difference in philosophy. They want to control the ball and eat up long minutes. You like to open up your offense, use all parts of the field. I think the fans are in treat for a good game here. I know it's tough on you coaches.
Oh, you're not kidding. Just hope that we can execute and hang in there with this team. This is probably the biggest club we faced all year, and I know historically they've been tough against everybody, and it's a team that could be 7-1 right now. So I think that you throw the records away at this point, Javi, and just we just have to out-execute and make fewer mistakes.
After going 7-1, are you bothered a little bit deep down inside the state newspaper, the Union Leader would favor Concord in the game and pick them?
No, I like that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. As a coach, that it's always great to be in an underdog role.
Should have been.
I just hope we can prove them wrong.
The Dover game, you saw it. What concerns you most about Concord High?
Well, they can do a lot of things. They have fine athletes, and they're real bulky up front, and they're a threat across the board, really, both sides of the ball. So
you got a lot of talent in your backfield. Final question: can we look at a lot of you guys today?
Well, I just hope you can see us at our best, really, Javi. That's hard to say. It's up to the kids right now.
Nice getting to meet you, Coach.
Thank you, Javi. I appreciate it.
All right, and you can see a very nervous and a very hurried Bob Almeyer of Nashua High School. We're going to come back and talk to the veteran of these situations, Jack Gaddy, who's pretty cool today, and come back and join us for that interview right after this timeout.
Bobby Young and the entire staff up at Young East Florist at 30 man.
The following is now.
The quarter are on around the state of New Hampshire today. We are on a delayed start, 2:30 kickoff because of the SAT examinations that were administered across the state of New Hampshire today. But today's quarterfinal matchups are all first-time pairings here in 91. This is kind of unique that all these teams that are meeting in Class L did not meet this season. Number 8 Memorial is at Pinkerton. Number 7 Trinity at 5-3 is at 7-1 Spalding this afternoon. That's a rematch of last year's championship game. The Crimson Tide of Concord High right here at Holman Stadium against 7-1 Nashua. And I think the toss-up game of the afternoon, Dover at Merrimack this afternoon, and Bruce and I on the way down here actually looked out onto the playing field and then saw those two teams warming up.
Yeah, they were getting ready to go over there, and incidentally, we just had the stadium announcer just announce a very early first quarter score from one of the other quarterfinal games, Harvey. Memorial is leading Pinkerton 3-0.
On a field goal, huh?
The next breath out of his mouth was that isn't going to last. But,
did he say that to the whole audience?
No, he just said that up here in the press box. But 3-0, Memorial leading Pinkerton very early on. So we'll have all the scores for you later on this evening here on WKXL. It is a big day of football all across the state.
It is. The Class I semis this afternoon. Timberlane is at Somersworth. Can the Hilltoppers stay undefeated at 9-0? Well, Swazinski, Skip, and his kids will be charged up for that one.
Oh, sure.
Lebanon is at Laconia this afternoon, and Lebanon into that tournament, and they did not play Somersworth, Timberlane, or Plymouth all year long. They padded their schedule with those Vermont teams, and they're into the playoffs, and Plymouth is not. That's a shame. Class M&S, I guess, Bruce, we predicted that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, fourth-ranked Fall Mountain up against number 1 Newport. Fall Mountain coming into the tournament at 2-7. Newport at 8-1. Gee, it's not even a coin toss there. I mean, if Newport gets upset by that one, that is as big as Memorial knocking off Pinkerton. But we do want to mention that there's another game, Harvey, where these two teams did not meet during the regular season, Newport and Fall Mountain.
That's right. And here at Holman Stadium, matter of fact, everybody tuning in, this is Harvey Smith along with Bruce Lavoie, and we, quite frankly, thought we were going to be over on the coast at Spalding this afternoon for the quarterfinals, but Winnicott High School, Dick Gagne, thank you very much, upset Portsmouth, gave Concord 2 extra points in the point rating system, put them up to 6th, and put them here at Holman Stadium against Nashua, and I think, quite frankly, that's a great draw for the Crimson Tide.
Normally I say I don't like surprises, but I got to tell you that this is one surprise that I really appreciated. I like coming down here to the Gate City and playing a team that, frankly, we don't know that much about. that we have not seen in the earlier part of the season. So this will be an interesting game this afternoon.
This will be interesting, and the Concord High kids really put it all together last Friday night over in Dover, 4 intense quarters. And guess what? The intensity is still evident on the head man, Jack Addy, this afternoon.
Stadium, a lot of memories. Your second ever game as a head coach brought the Trinity Pioneers in here, and I think you won the game 10-7 on a Rick Williams field goal.
I thought you were talking about my first year at Concord.
No, first year at Trinity.
I do remember
second
that.
game in your career.
I do remember that. That was a very intense game. We've had some great games with Nashua over the years. That's why I look forward to this game, because we haven't played them in a couple of years.
The goal line stand last week against Dover to preserve the win for you. You had a goal line stand like that back in '87 on the way to the title against Nashua here. I'm sure both situations were almost similar. It reminded me of both, Dover stopping Nashua. The defense is coming around.
It is, and the enthusiasm and the intensity is for 4 quarters is coming around. Hopefully last week wasn't a fluke, and we're looking to prove that it wasn't. In today's game, because we got to play 4 intense quarters, and I think the kids are ready to do that.
Jack, we talked earlier in the week defense, and I know everything is made about the T formation, but you always preached defense during your career, and the defense against Dover last Friday night was like the old days. The kids were swarming to the ball, and the line was firing off and rushing the passer real well.
That's why, in our standpoint, it made the game so exciting to watch, because the defense was playing very intense football. There was lots of movement. There were some big plays made by a lot of different kids. It wasn't just dominated by one individual, so it was a great team defensive game, and when you can play like that, you're in every ball game.
I think also overlooked, you don't see a thing like this next question in the headlines, but 4th down calls by you. There were 3 or 4 critical ones against Dover, and it seems like you have confidence in this group of kids now in a 4th down situation.
Well, I do, and we were thinking about that on the way up on a bus today, on 4th down situations. So if we can control the football and it gets to a point where it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, depending where we're on the field, we're going to go for it. Because it could be our last game, and you got to take those kind of gambles.
This Nashua team can throw. The statistics bear it up that they will throw, and I know your defensive secondaries are going to be tested, but again, the front 4 has to play well today.
It does, and they're deceiving though. They have a good running game. They'll come out in their running formations and run the ball well. They got a good variety of backs and can do different things with each back. But throwing formations, and they're high percentage throws, and but they do spread you out. They spread the defense out, and they have good athletes at all the skill positions. So we're going to be tested. And like you said, our front 4 has to put on a good rush, particularly when they're in their passing formations.
Coach, last week the Dover kids almost broke a couple kickoff returns and punt returns. What kind of attention did you pay to special teams this week?
Well, we made a few personnel changes. What we do on our special teams is try to rest some of our 2-way starters and put the younger kids in. But we're getting to a point now where we changed our whole kickoff receiving team. Our kickoff team, we put some 2-way starters in there, and it's a 1-game situation. So we got to go after everything. So we're bolstering up all our special teams.
Another kid that's been overlooked in the media is the play of Garrett Stum. He reminds me of Jason Wimpy. He's not known as a great high school, goes out and does the job every weekend for you.
He certainly does, and under pressure also. He's kicked 3 field goals, and I don't know if I've had a kicker that's ever kicked 3 field goals in 1 year. So Garrett's been doing a great job, and it might come down to that again today.
It's a great day here. No wind. The field looks very, very dry, and so it looks like a nice day to control the football.
It is. I was hoping for a lot of wind, but
I know you were. You wanted it cold and windy, and maybe even snowing.
Well, actually, the wind's the worst detriment to a football team, and even for us, because it can kill the punt game. So, but I was hoping for a good win today, but the field's dry, and we both got to play on it, so it's going to be a good game.
Let me, final question, touch on something you said earlier in the interview. 4 quarters of intensity. How do you get a group of high school kids to stay intense for 4 quarters out there?
I think it's their confidence. They experienced it last year, and that's the thing. That's their best teacher. When you experience something and realize, hey, this is the way it works, then it's their turn to keep doing it. And last week after the game, the kids had a great feeling, and they finally realized, hey, if we play intense football for 4 quarters, good things happen. And we had a great week of practice, and I can see them right now. They look very interesting.
Okay, well,
You missed the last quote out of Jack Addy.
yes.
He said as he ended the interview on air, he said, "I'll see you next week in Spalding."
Okay.
I thought that was kind of a nice way to end the interviews. This Concord Nashua series, we told you it's the 88th meeting. as recently as the 80s, it still remained very, very competitive. In the 80s, Concord won 6 games, Nashua 5. Jack Gaddy personally against Nashua is 6-7. However, at Concord High against Nashua, Jack is 4-1. And here at Hallman Stadium, while the head man at Concord High, Jack Gaddy is 3-0 at Hallman Stadium against the Pioneers. Concord and Nashua in the playoffs. Concord leads the playoff series 1-0. So the Crimson Tide of Concord High come in here with a record of 5-3 here in 91. Nashua, the third-rated team with a record of, comes onto the field in their purple uniforms and the band playing the school song, and the Crimson Tide will be on this football field for the kickoff in just a few moments. So come back and join us when Concord makes its entrance into Hallman Stadium for the quarterfinals. We'll be right back.
At the Allied Insurance Agency at 500 South Street on the Bowtown line, their motto, "Your protection is our profession," is practiced daily. Their staff is truly at your service when it comes to your family and your business with total insurance coverage at very attractive rates. The Allied Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated, and they know the greater Concord area. They live here, and their staff utilizes the services of excellent New Hampshire insurance companies. And the Allied Insurance Agency firmly believes in supporting the area's youth and have established a long-standing tradition of high school sports sponsorship. So once again, this week, the winning tradition of Allied Insurance and the local high school football continues as the Allied Insurance Agency and WKXL bring you today's live broadcast of the Concord High Crimson Tide as they play in this state Class L tournament game. From Dave Gazaway Sr. and Dave Gazaway Jr., along with the entire staff of the Allied Insurance Agency, good luck and good sportsmanship.
Hallman Stadium in the Gate City of Nashua is where Bruce LaVoy and Harvey Smith this afternoon on WKXL 1450 AM. As you can hear, perhaps in the background, 3 cheers for Concord as the Crimson Tide come on to the Hallman Stadium field in preparation for this quarterfinal matchup as the 6th-ranked Crimson Tide take the field against the 3rd-ranked Nashua High School Purple Panthers. And Harvey, interestingly enough, the team Concord beat last Friday night 17-13 over in the Garrison City Dover Green Wave is the team that on the 3rd week of the season knocked off this Nashua team by a score of 28-19 for Nashua's only loss in 1991.
That's correct. Comparative scores, you know, first of all, you really can't put much stock into where a team finishes now in Class L because there are 18 teams. They go through an 8-game regular season, so that means there are 9 teams on the schedule they don't even see. And really the chips fall where they may. But Concord did have 3 common opponents. Against Exeter, Concord beat Exeter 17-3, and Nashua beat Exeter 34-13, even though that game was tied late in the 3rd period at 7-7. Winnacunnet, Concord won 18-6. Nashua beat Winnacunnet just barely here at Hallman Stadium 14-12. Against Dover, as Bruce just told you, Concord beat Dover 17-13, and Nashua lost to Dover 19-28. What does that all mean? Well, if you put it together, you could say Concord scored 52 points against those 3 common opponents, and the Nashua scored 67 points. That would give Nashua a little bit of an edge offensively here. Defensively, Concord only gave up 22 points against those 3 teams, while Nashua gave up 53 points against those teams, and that would give Concord the edge defensively. And anytime you have a team that is on the field favored defensively, I think you may have a winner.
That may very well be the case. Concord versus tournament teams, 1-2 this year. Nashua versus tournament teams is 2-1. Nashua is unbeaten here at Hallman Stadium, 4-0 on the year. They went 3-1 away from home. On Saturday afternoons, Harvey, they are 2-0. And for Concord at Memorial Field and Concord 3-1 on the road, they went 2. Of course, 2 of those losses came at Portsmouth and at Pinkerton. No easy place to play any year for the Crimson Tide, never mind this year. And on Saturday afternoons, the Crimson Tide come in at 2-2. Incidentally, one game from Class M&S that we neglected to mention was the 3rd-ranked Saints of St. Thomas in Franklin to play Jim Mullaney and his Golden Tornadoes. That should be an interesting matchup this afternoon. 6-2 Franklin against 5-3 St. Thomas, and that should really be the only contest in Class M&S this afternoon. And certainly Newport Fall Mountain doesn't promise to hold much as far as intensity.
Well, the game has not been kicked off yet, but already Jack Gaddy has put his trademark and his stamp onto this game early. He won the toss and deferred to Nashua, and I guess we expected that, Bruce.
Yes, we have seen that a number of times this year. So We are getting set for the playing of the national anthem and the start of the game, and we will do that here on WKXL after this timeout.
For comfort and style, Champion Athletic Apparel is the rage this fall and winter. Joe King Shoe Shop at 18 Pleasant Street, Concord offers a large selection of sweatshirts, sweatpants, shorts, and t-shirts, each in the wide variety of colors, style, and sizes you've been waiting for. So whatever your sport, look to Joe King Shoe Shop for all your athletic footwear, apparel, and accessories. Joe King's Professional Service, open Thursday and Friday.
Jim Burney of Burney Sports in Concord congratulates the Crimson Tide for another great football season. Now, with the winter sports programs beginning, Burney Sports has the equipment your team will need, from uniforms to balls and scorebooks. Burney Sports even has jerseys for referees. When you do business with Burney Sports, you don't travel all over because Jim Burney will come to your home or office. So as you prepare to order uniforms and supplies for the upcoming sports season, let Burney Sports help you. Call 224-2131, 224-2131.
Pretty good-sized crowd on hand here at Holman Stadium this afternoon for the kickoff of this quarterfinal play between the Nashua High Purple Panthers and the Concord High School Crimson Tide. And we've given you all the facts and figures as we have them to game time. And now it all comes down to actually getting down there between the sidelines and playing this football game. Concord is getting ready to tee it up and kick off to the Nashua High Purple Panthers, going from left to right across your radio dial. Nashua will be receiving and defending the goal to your right and traveling from right to left across your radio dial.
Nashua has a youngster, Bruce, Chad LaFontaine, a 5'8 junior, who has run 6 kickoff and punts back for returns this year. He has kickoff returns of 98 and 91 yards this year. He's very, very dangerous, and Concord's going to try to keep the ball away from him.
I was going to say, they're going to try to kick to the side where he ain't.
He is a real threat anywhere on the field. Nate Woodrow will be the other starting back. Brett is the quarterback. Matt Race is a talented halfback who has scored 13 touchdowns this year, and LaFontaine and Race are back. So either one is dangerous back there, Bruce.
Absolutely. We are waiting for the Nashua High School band to clear the end zone to our right. Everybody is ready to go, except that the tail end of the color guard is still within the bounds of the end zone. So we will start to tell you that here is high school football and the voice of Concord High Tournament football on WKXL, Harvey Smith.
All right, for the 29th time this year, Garrett Stum with 49 on his shirt will kick off the football, and this Class L quarterfinal is underway, and it comes to LaFontaine back at the 10-yard line. He's out to the 15 to the 20, and Concord is all over him. Good gang tackling, good swarming tackling by the special teams right there, and you can see that's a big difference from last week, Bruce.
Absolutely. LaFontaine went right to the ball, too, as he played the single safety. The other guy back there with him didn't even make a move toward the ball, as it was all LaFontaine all the way. And as Harvey related to you, they run it back a lot of times with the talented running back LaFontaine. They're out to the 27-yard line. Their own 27, 1st and 10 for Nashua, just under.
Talented Nashua team. A pro set. Ball is in the air. First time it is complete. Out there at the sideline to the 30, out to the 40-yard line. A quick slant pass from Olette to Race. And the Nashua Purple Panthers get a first down on the first snap of the ball. And this kid, Bryce Ouellette, has just completed his 69th pass here in 91.
Ball right out to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards on the play. 1st and 10 for Nashua. And as I say, a pickup of 13.
Look at the triple receivers out here on the left side. Only one lone back. He gets the ball. It is Nate Woodrow, the senior fullback, right into the heart of the line. Nashua put everybody out on the line of scrimmage in a receiving formation, and then they gave it to the one lone back, and he picked up 3 yards.
Now they spotted back just about the 42-yard line. There's no hash mark on this field, Harvey, so pick up but about a 2-yard gain out there. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 at their own 42-yard line for Nashua.
We'll call the scoreboard guy wrong. Okay, same formation, one lone back, receivers everywhere. Ouellette is back to pass. He dances. He puts it in the air. It's a wobbly pass. It is complete. Out here to Isaac Davis over the 50-yard line and into Concord High territory. Isaac Davis is a 6'2", 215-pound tight end, and it was a very poorly thrown ball but a terrific by Isaac to give Nashua another first down.
I'll tell you, if they catch it, is it a poorly thrown ball?
Well, it was a wobbly pass, and he had to wait for it. If he didn't have to wait for it, he might have been gone.
That's right. A pickup of, 10 yards on the play. It's another first down for the Purple Panthers. Their second of the ball game.
2 for 2. Olette in passing plays. 2 out of 3 here. A fake play action. Olette is back. He avoids one tackle back at the 50. Puts the ball in the air. It is complete to Ramon Miranda down here to the 30-yard line. What a nice catch by the split end, Ramon Miranda, a 6'1 junior. And this Nashua team has a run-and-shoot, wide-open offense, and it's a perfect day, an absolute perfect day. It's warm, it's cloudy, there's no wind, and it's a great passer's day.
Pickup of 16 yards on these. 3 for 3 now for 13, 10, and 16 yards.
I formation for the Panthers. They are at the Concord 32-yard line. It is a pitch back to Race as he tries to... He avoids a tackle, and now he gets swarmed under, dances up close to the 30-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. Just missing the ball carrier Rice was the rusher Tom Marshall, but he did slow him up enough for his teammates to get in there and put the hit on him.
Yeah, they're going to mark the ball back at the original line of scrimmage, so it brings up a second down and 10. He should have been captured in the backfield, but was able to squirt free.
You know, Olette should have been tackled there before that last completion, too, and Concord not quite getting them. Flanked out is Miranda on the left side. Further out is Matt Race on the left side. Olette is back. He's looking for one of them. The ball is in the air. It's a reception down at the 25, to the 20, to the 15-yard line. He breaks the tackle at the 15. He gets down to the 10-yard line. Run after the reception of the football by Chad LaFontaine coming out of that backfield. And this kid Olette is on with his passing. He has 7 touchdown passes, everybody. But get this, to 6 different receivers this year.
That's right, down to the 9-yard line. A pickup of 23 yards, first and goal for the Panthers.
The Panther offense is hot right now. Again, the I formation look. It is a pitch. LaFontaine, the flag is down as he crosses the 10, the 5. He bulls his way into the end zone. It's a touchdown, but there is a flag down. We'll have to wait and see. At the line of scrimmage, a flag is down. LaFontaine ran the 9 yards into the end zone around the left side, and it's coming back. No touchdown. Motion against the Purple Panthers, and a break for the Crimson Tide right there.
That's right. The way they have been throwing the ball down the field, though, is absolutely incredible. This is the most passing we've seen. They've got 4 first downs. He's 4 for 4 in passing. All 4 of his passes have been good for first downs. Now they ball out back to the 14-yard line, and it is a first and goal from the 14.
All right, he sends Isaac Davis, 6'2", end out on the right side. He puts Chad LaFontaine in the slot on the right side, and he has Bryce out on the right side, and he's looking right to pass. Olette has the ball in the air. He's got Davis at the 5, the 2, the 1. He's in. Touchdown. Olette to Davis, and Davis did the work from the 5-yard line as he carried 2 or 3 Concord High kids right into the end zone with him. He's a big kid, 6'2", 215 pounds, and Olette is 4 for 4, and he picks up his 8th touchdown pass of the 91 campaign. Andy Orbit to try the extra point. It's a slow snap, and it is blocked down there by Blake Savoy of Concord High, so the Crimson Tide can take solace in blocking the extra point, but they trail it 6-0. They'll get their chance on offense when we return here to Holman Stadium. Stay with us.
High school sports are a source of great interest and pride, not only for the schools involved, but the communities they represent as well. High school sports can help bring a community, providing a common focus to care about and to cheer for. Because of this important role in the lives of our communities, high school sports are about a lot more than winning and losing. They're about working together and growing together. That's why high school sports are such a tradition in the Capital Region. And the Capital City law firm of Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and on behalf of its employees, clients, and is pleased to be a part of this tradition by helping to bring these broadcasts to the community. And even more pleased to be a part of a community that cares so much for its young people.
Andy Milligan with a great run back from the Concord 11 all the way out over his 40-yard line. He was stopped back around the 27, and he just bulled his way ahead another 11 or 12 yards with all kinds of Purple Panthers hanging on him. So good field position for the Crimson Tide.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 for Concord, just shy of midfield at the 43.
All right, the Tide trail at 6-0 in the quarterfinals. Wing T look to the left side. McGonigal calls signals, gives it to Mayo, the fullback, right up the middle for a couple of yards. Ryan McGonigal, junior quarterback. Mike Mayo, he's a senior. He has rushed for 467 yards this year. Milliken, Andy, a senior on one side, and Matty Ekstrom, a senior on the other side. In the line, Forrestal, the center, Dave Lossage and Tommy Marshall, the senior guards. Eric Wood and Og Young, the senior tackles. And Gary Gott and Blake Savoy are on the ends, both in tight in a blocking situation right now. The give is to Andy Milliken, left side. He cracks across the 50 into Nashua territory and close to a first down as the Crimson Tide fire off the ball for the first 2 times here, and they look like they're ready to play a game here.
Boy, they sure are. 47-yard line, 48-yard line is where the ball is marked now at the Concord, at the Nashua 48. 3rd down and 1 yard to go, Harvey.
3rd and 1 as Concord brings its T formation, and now they break it into a wing right side. Milliken in the slot on the right side, just behind the guard. They give it to Mayo, the fullback. He's into the line. He's across the 45. That should be enough for Concord's first down of the afternoon. Mike Mayo picks up the first down, and he's somewhere around 480 yards rushing here in 1991.
Yeah, he has had a fine year so far for the Crimson Tide. Hopefully it'll go on for at least one more game. He's down to the 45-yard line to pick up a 3 on the play. They needed 1, and they got the 3 yards that they needed. The Nashua scoring drive, 7 plays, 73 yards, 3 minutes, and even.
From the 45-yard line, Milliken gets the call again, and the lead block thrown by Tom Marshall. He missed his man, and Andy still got by the first Purple Panther because of the efforts of Tom Marshall and Og Young on that side, and he got 2 yards. Almost thrown for a loss in the backfield, but Andy had the desire to lunge ahead 2 yards. 2nd and 8 for the Crimson Tide. T formation. Blake Savoy and Gary Gott in tight on each end. All the backs are back there. They give it to Ekstrom for his first time. He goes off right tackle down to the 40-yard line to 39, and then he's thrown back as 5 or 6 Purple Panthers pile on Matty.
20 minutes of 3, Harvey, and the lights are coming on here at Holman Stadium.
It's an overcast day. We have been told by the Weather Bureau that it is going to eventually break up and get some blue around here today, but it doesn't look like we're going to see it for game time. 3rd and 4 for Concord High. They're at the 35-yard line of Nashua. Long count by McGonigal. It is a fake. McGonigal goes back to pass, puts it in the air. He's got a man open. It is a completion down around the 25-yard line.
And that will be Concord's second first down of the game, Harvey.
Rob Sawyer, a big 6'6", 230-pound senior, makes a nice catch. He lined up on the right side, flashed down about 6 yards, went across the line of scrimmage, and McGonigal running to his left, not his natural side, made a nice pass.
That's right. 8-yard pickup, 1st and 10 for Concord at the 31-yard line.
Well, the Crimson Tide would like to come right back up and tie it up here. It's Nashua, if you're just getting a chance to join us on the radio. And the give is to Pat Woodard, and he is thrown for a loss. And it looked like Nashua had that one. It was Don Ross on the carry for the Crimson Tide. He was stopped, and matter of fact, thrown for about a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, they're going to mark the ball back at the 33-yard line. A loss of 2 on the play, 12.
The best-looking defensive play for Nashua right there. Will Concord go to the fullback trap? Mayo has it. He's through the middle. He's past the linebackers. One man to beat. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Mike Mayo! As he went right through the middle on the fullback trap, and Concord High ties it up. A 34-yard touchdown scamper by Mike Mayo has really come on of late over the last 2 or 3 weekends for the Crimson Tide. And the Concord High Crimson Tide tie this quarterfinal contest up at 6-6 with 5 minutes and 8 seconds to go in period number 1. And now Garrett Stum brings his athletic leg out to the 10-yard line. And Garrett Stum is 15 of 19 in extra point tries here in 1991. Mike Mayo is in for McGonigal to hold. Bloshage on the snap. Mayo on the hold. Stum on the kick. Distance, and it is good. It's into the stadium. 5 rows up into the stadium, and Concord takes a 7-6 lead. And now Nashua gets another turn. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
At Horizon Bank, we're your friends and neighbors, and serving you is our #1 priority. That's why we'll never leave you hanging when it comes to your financial needs. Each time you call or visit Horizon Bank, you'll get a friendly greeting and prompt, courteous service because we believe friends should never be kept out in the cold waiting too long. Whether you want to discuss checking services, savings plans, taking out a loan, or whatever, come on in. Our lines of communication are always open, always warm. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
He was stopped, and now it's back thrown for about a 2-yard loss.
Okay, we are back here at Holman Stadium in the game of Nashua. You may have caught me queuing up the tape. We will have replays of some of the scoring highlights and whatnot and a post-game show, so stay with us for that.
All right,
a lot more game to go, though.
Race gets the ball ahead of LaFontaine, comes right over the pitcher's mound at the 30. One man to beat out at the 40-yard line. He beats him, and now he's a foot race. He's going down the sideline at the 50. He's at the 40. Only Ekstrom has a chance. He's not going to do it. Matt Race is going to go all the way. 91-yard touchdown return. And no flags are down. And just like that, Nashua is back on top. And for the 7th time this year, the Purple Panthers run a kickoff back for a touchdown. Oh my.
Just like that.
91 yards down the left sideline. He took the ball in the middle of the field, came up over the pitcher's mound, into the middle, and then broke out of the pack to the left sideline, and then he dashed down the sideline. And they're going to go for 2 here, the Panthers are. Ouellette has men out on the right side. He dances back. He puts the football in the air, and Ekstrom knocks it down. And so once again, the Purple Panthers cannot convert, but they take the lead, 12-7, and Concord gets its second chance. Come back and join us for that.
The area's family footwear center, Denroy Shoes at 76 North Main Street in downtown Concord, invites you to the locker room. It's the new locker room at Denroy Shoes, and it's chock full of great Nike footwear and Nike clothing. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nikes for men, for women, and for children. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nike gym and book bags, Nike hats, Nike t-shirts, Nike sweats, and cool, comfortable Nike nylon jackets and pants. You'll love the selection, and you'll find the values outstanding. Of course, for athletic footwear, the locker at Denroy Shoes just can't be beat for selection. Men and women can choose a Nike shoe for every athletic activity, from walking to cross-training, from tennis to basketball, from cleated to running, from force to the Nike Air. So when it comes to athletic footwear, you look to Nike. And when it comes to Nike, look to the locker room at Denroy Shoes, 76 North Main Street, in the heart of downtown Concord.
Once again, Andy Milliken takes the kickoff from deep in his end zone. It comes all the way out to the 46-yard line. A nice run back by Andy, and he was pinned again at the 25, but broke away.
Tell you what, Harvey, if this keeps going like this, we are going to have one wild afternoon of football here. I'm already 3 pages behind on stats.
I'm into my second marker already on my here. T formation tied. Axball as he comes from left to right, and he gets thrown back into the backfield after about a 1-yard gain as Nashua's defense seems to be buoyed now by that second touchdown. Nashua leads at 12-7. I think I said 13-7 as we broke away. That's what the scoreboard said, and I wasn't thinking. I just read the scoreboard, but they corrected it, and I will too. 12-7, Nashua leads. Each team has scored every time it's had possession of the football. Nashua twice and Concord once, and Concord with its second possession right now. T formation, 2nd down and 8. From the Nashua 47-yard line. McGonigal is a fumble in the backfield. Nashua has it. LaFontaine tries to pick it up, and then they fall on it at the 30-yard line. LaFontaine tried to pick it up and run with it, and he dropped it, and Isaac Davis recovered it at the 30-yard line. McGonigal got hit, and he fumbled it as he went down, and Isaac Davis recovers at the 30, but LaFontaine made a mistake by trying to pick it up and run with it, and he fumbled it.
Yeah, that almost was costly for the Purple Panthers, but they come up with it at their own, at the Concord 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
How many times this year 91 have fumbles hurt Concord High? Straight running play into the middle of the line. Goes Matt Race, and he picks up 7 or 8 yards on the left side. And Jack Addy said that as well as Nashua can throw, that they can run the ball effectively, and we saw an example of it right there. 2nd and 2 for the Panthers. And the stadium announcer is right beside me to my left, and you may be picking him up at home. We'll give you a little stadium flavor here this afternoon. Race on the carry. He's got a first down or more. Down to the Concord 20, the 15, close to the 10, but there's a flag down in Nashua's backfield. I don't know, but it's very difficult here with the stadium announcer to hear us on the radio.
Okay, well, we'll have to see what this penalty flag is about. Yeah, it is against the Nashua Purple Panthers. And that's an interesting situation, and a good point you bring up here, Harvey. The visiting radio station, which means us, is downstairs with the scorer and the scoreboard operator and the public address announcer. Meanwhile, there's only one radio station upstairs. And they have taken up the whole booth for just WSMN, and that hardly seems fair to me, as that is the broadcast booth. That's where we've always been, but this year they put us downstairs at a lower level.
That's life on the road.
It is life on the road. Back to the 27-yard line, and
all right,
that's where Nashua will have it.
For the Purple Panthers, and they need 7 yards. Olette is back to pass. He dances all kinds of times, avoids the tackle, puts it in the air. And Chad Longfontaine could have caught it, but he didn't, because he was only near the original line of scrimmage, and he thought better of it. So Bryce Ouellette, a 5'10 junior quarterback, not only a fine passer, but he has those great quarterback feet, Bruce. He dances so well back there.
True, and he has big enough hands, so he's able to hold the football effectively with just one hand and do what he wants with it.
I formation. LaFontaine is at the back of the eye. It's a fake to him. Ouellette's going to put it in the air. He plants his feet. He throws, and it is knocked down, and they're going to call pass interference on Natty Ekstrom at the 35-yard line. A very, very close call, because I thought Ekstrom hit the receiver at the time that he received the ball.
Well, that's the way the call goes. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in a wild first quarter of play, 12-7, with Nashua on top. Basically on the strength of a 91-yard touchdown return.
I really try to be objective on these broadcasts, and I think for the most part I am, and I really saw it that way. It wasn't a crimson or a purple. It was just two kids going for a ball, and I thought they met him. I did not see pass interference. I'd be very interested to see it again on Channel 12 tonight.
Nashua's fifth first down of the ball game, Harvey, and that is the first one that they have picked up not via the passing route. They're down to the 14-yard line now with a 1st and 10.
Big penalty. We're still only in the first period. It feels like we've played 3 quarters already. I formation. They're going to keep it on the ground. Rush has the call. He dances at the 15, to the 10, to the 5. He's thrown. Touchdown, Matty Race. He just kept dancing and scooting and eluding and keeping his feet going, and he was like a pinball in the machine, and he couldn't be caught, and he wouldn't come down, and he finally ended up in the end zone all by himself. He just went weaving right down through traffic.
That's the case, and Nashua opens up a little bit bigger lead there on the 14-yard touchdown run by Matt Raish.
Now has 15 touchdowns on the season with his two here.
Today, right?
And Nashua is going to go for 2. They are 0 for 2 in extra point tries here. Nobody in the backfield. Everybody up in a passing situation on the line of scrimmage. Ouellette takes the ball, and he's going to try to run to the end zone, and he dances in. Missing a tackle was Ryan McGonigal at the 5. Ryan had a pretty good shot at him, but Ouellette was just too elusive, and he got into the end for the 2 extra points, and Nashua takes a 20-7 lead here in the quarterfinals. We're still only in the first period. Come back and join us. Concord will come back, I assure you.
The Everett Arena Hockey Shop is now open 7 days a week, fully stocked with everything you'll need for another successful hockey season. They have the proper equipment for every level of a player's career, from the beginning player to college-level hockey. They'll match the level of equipment to the level of the player's competition. They carry a full range of recreational skates and figure skates. Whether your skating is for the local pond this winter or figure skating, the Everett Arena Hockey Shop has the proper skate for any level of competition and recreation. And you're going to find very sharp prices on skates with brand new children's ice skates starting as low as $31. They're open Monday through Friday, noon to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays open all day starting at 8 a.m. Major credit cards accepted for everything in the way of hockey equipment to the college player, plus sharp prices on figure and recreational skates. It's all available at the Everett Arena Hockey Shop. And go get 'em Crimson Tide in today's state Class L playoff football game.
Nashua's wide open offense really bothering the Concord High School Crimson Tide, and Nashua playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, they've opened up a 20-7 lead now with a touchdown and the 2-point conversion by the quarterback. Concord now has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line, Harvey.
T formation from the 27. Mayo has the football. He has a trap. He gets out to about the 30. 3-yard pickup the hard way right up the middle, and he had to go through about 4 big Purple Panthers to do it. 4-yard gain. He spotted the ball for the Crimson Tide. 1:54 to play here in the period number 1 from Hallman Stadium, Class L quarterfinals, and Nashua red hot right now, leading Concord 20-7. 2nd down and 7 for the Tide. 2nd and 6 for the Tide. And they give it to the first man through, Mayo again, and he's out to about the 35 or 36-yard line. Running real hard this afternoon. Let's see how close. It's going to be about a yard and a half short. Davilic on the tackle for the Purple. And a big 3rd down here for the Crimson Tide. They can't let this thing get out of hand.
All right, ball out to the 36-yard line. 3rd down and 2, and this is a big play for the Tide right here.
The ends are in tight. The backs are in tight. Straight T formation. Going to go with its power, Concord High. They give it to the 2nd man through. It's Milligan. He stops the line of scrimmage. I don't think he had it. And a tough call for Jack Addy right here.
Sure is. This is going to be very close, but it is not enough for the 1st down. Although they are going to call for a measurement here. Yes, they are.
Yes,
They're going
they
to
are.
make absolutely sure here in a tournament game. 1 minute and 1 tick left on the clock here in the first quarter. 20-7 with Nashua out on top. And a couple of big plays have really opened up for the Purple Panthers. A 91-yard touchdown return and a fumble recovery setting up another touchdown. And boy, they are just taking advantage of the opportunities that Concord is giving them. High of the 1st down, the ball is going to be marked at the 37-yard line of 4th and inches.
And Bruce is right. When he says inches, we're talking 2 or 3, folks. And Jack Addy sends Blake Savoy onto the field with the play, and now Ryan McGonigal, who was over conferring with the coach. And I think the head man's going to go for it. Given Jack's history and his confidence in his offense, the T formation is out there. Given Jack's history and his confidence in his offense, the T formation is out there at the line of scrimmage. The 2 lines are getting ready to collide. Big 4th down play here in the first period. A momentous call. The play, the give, and it's a 1st down for the Crimson Tide. Matty Ekstrom on the carry, and he gets it. And some great blocking by Dave Blossage, Eric Woods, and Tom Marshall, the pulling guard, all on that right side to give Ekstrom the room to get the 1st down. What a gutsy call by the head man, Bruce.
Sure was, and he did exactly what he had to do. The ball is out now to the 38-yard line. He picked up a yard. So it's the 1st and 10 from their own 38 for Concord.
Gray, overcast skies around the Gate City down here in Nashua. And it is off. Nashua jumps offside. Were they pulled offsides? The flags go down before the ball is snapped. Nashua went offsides, but were they pulled? And it is going to go against Nashua, and this will give Concord a 1st and 5. Boy, fumbles have been so costly to the Crimson Tide all year long, and the one here leading to Nashua's 3rd touchdown was a killer. Nashua leading it 20-7 as the first period winds down. Yes, that is correct. We're in the first period, and it's 20-7. Concord with the ball, 1st and 5, out near midfield. Milliken gets the call. He's into the left side of that line, out near the 45-yard line. Concord still on their side of the field, and the first winding down, and it's going to end with Nashua 20 and Concord 7. We'll be back with more state tournament action here from Hallman Stadium right after this. Stay with us here on the radio.
Bobby Young and the entire staff up at Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street in Concord would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone associated with the Crimson Tide of Concord High School the very best of luck in today's Class L state tournament football game. You know, high school sports play a very important role in any successful community. And through the dedicated hard work put in by the staff and members, the Crimson Tide has learned to work together as a team, each member completing their assignment in order to accomplish a common team goal. The teamwork learned by this year's group of young men on the roster of Concord High School will become a lifelong lesson on how to accomplish a common goal through athletics, knowing that how you play the game will become examples of how you go through life, long after one has covered the 100 yards of the football field. Again, good luck to the Concord High football team from your florist in Concord, Young East Florist, at 30 Manchester Street.
First play play from scrimmage, period number 2. McGonagall's going to put it in the air. He dances back. He fires off his back foot. It's a short ball, and it's going to be by Nashua. Coming back across the 50-yard line to the 40. The defensive halfback is in Concord territory. He's at the 35. He's down at the 20-yard line, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. One man to beat. Touchdown.
Flag is down.
A flag is down, but running it back is Glenn Garner, a defensive back. And that is the third time this year he has intercepted a pass. The first time he's run it back for a touchdown. And Glenn Garner went all the way. He just kept bouncing off Concord High tacklers one after another, and he finally ricocheted into the end zone.
Well, the
60-yard run back. Let's see what the penalty's all about.
we'll have to see what that is, but the Concord receiver fell down. Nashua saying it's good, and the referee says clip against Concord. The touchdown will stand, and we have a 26-7 ball game on the 60-yard run back of the intercepted pass. The Concord receiver fell down trying to come back for the ball, and that set Nashua up with the ball at their own 40-yard line, and they just ran it back the 60 yards, as Harvey says, bouncing here, bouncing there, and they are able to run it into the end zone and open up a big lead of 19 points.
That may be the one that breaks Concord's back. That one right there just may crush them for the afternoon. Ouellette sprinting right, wants to pass into the end zone. Keeps the ball, throws it in the end zone, and it's knocked away at the last second, preventing the extra 2 points. But Nashua gets its 4th touchdown, its 2nd via a long run back, and they take a huge lead back upfield, 26-7. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
From your neighbors at Phil and Larry's Variety Store, here's a word of congratulations for a job well done this season to Coach Jack Gaddy and his Crimson Tide football team. The people at Phil and Larry's enjoy talking with the athletes throughout the year and sharing their winning seasons with them. For Concord High Sports Talk, or for your newspaper's sweepstakes tickets, movie videos, and those special tools for special projects, the place to stop is Phil and Larry's Variety Store, right across from Concord High School on Warren Street.
Whether your sport is running, aerobics, basketball, rollerblades, or football, Joe King Shoe Shop has a large selection of sizes to fit your every need. Top manufacturers like Reebok, Adidas, Saucony, and New Balance ensure the quality you expect and deserve. 18 Pleasant Street and the Joe King's Outlet on North Main Street in Concord offers an extensive line of athletic apparel, too. Shorts, sweats, tees, running tights, and jackets. Joe King's and Joe King's Outlet, your sports connection.
Shane Stafford runs the kickoff back from near the goal line out over the 25. Nice run back and a great kickoff by Andy Aubert of Nashua. And Nashua High is hot. A high-powered offense is really rolling here.
I think this has caught everybody by surprise. We knew Nashua was a real good team going 7-1 this year, but I don't think anybody expected this. 26-7, just underway in the second quarter of play with Nashua on top. Concord has the ball 1st and 10. They're at their own 27-yard line.
And 2 of those scores came back.
Yep.
A 91 kickoff return, 91-yard kickoff return by Matty Race, and a 60-yard run back off an interception by Glenn Garner. And those special team situations, I'll tell you, Concord High has got to get some offense together in a hurry. Mayo gets the call. He goes right up the middle. He's going to get a first down the quick way, the fullback trap, as he's out to the 40-yard line. Concord can't try to get it all back at once, but they have got to take control of this game, and they've got to do it with a long, sustained march and keep the ball away from Nashua.
Absolutely. The ball out to the 39-yard line. It's another first down for the Crimson Tide. It is their 4th of the ball game, 3rd on the ground, 1 via the passing route. 1st and 10 from their own 39.
Key formation from the 39 from the Tide. As they try to get back in it, they give it to Ekstrom. He goes off left tackle, and he gets 5 or 6 yards. And the Concord High line starting to open up some holes out here. Concord trailing 26-7, and this is one of those key drives in a game like this that is so important in getting back into a ball game.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 4 now. A couple of other scores from around the state. Pinkerton has now opened up a 14-3 lead over Memorial, and it is Merrimack all over Dole Street here, 20-7 at halftime.
Backs are split for the first time this afternoon behind McGonigal. He gives it to the first man through it. Is Mayo. He goes off right tackle, and he needs to get to the 45 for a first down. He's not quite there, although they might measure it. And they'll see where they spot it, and they pick it up and move it back 2 feet, so it won't be a first down. How important is the spot of the ball by the men in striped shirts?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A graying, misty day here in the Gate City, but that hasn't bothered Nashua's offense. They are red hot. No wind in the stadium. It's a passer's afternoon. Third down and short. They give it to Milligan. He stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he's not going to make it. The interception by Glenn Garner came on a poorly thrown ball by Ryan McGonigal. McGonigal had plenty of time, and he was set up, but he really didn't plant his feet. Took another step backwards and threw off his back feet, and the pass ended up way short.
Sure did, and as I mentioned also, the Concord receiver fell down. I'm not sure he would have had a play on it if he had even kept his feet because it was that much underthrown, but this is an interesting call here. They're going for it, fourth and about 2 feet.
Yep. It's a big 2 feet, too. They give it to Milligan. He's across the 45, and he gets the first down. And for the second time this afternoon, Coach Gaddy elects to go for it on fourth down. Kids deliver.
Yep.
First down, Concord.
Milligan gets just out to the 46-yard line, a pickup of 6 yards on the play. They needed one. They got 6 out of Andy on that play. Down to the 46, first and 10 for the Crimson Tide.
8:52 to play in the first half, and Nashua with a 26-7 lead. They have been red hot, explosive on offense. Concord High has a first and 10 out near midfield. Donnie Ross gets the call. He scoots across the right side, right off the block of Dave Blossage, and gets 2 or 3 yards. Blossage at one guard, hardworking senior Tommy Marshall at the other guard on the left side. Eric Woods, a senior, and Old Yugga senior at the tackles. Blake Savoy, a sophomore end, really blocking well today. Gary Gott and Rob Sawyer alternating at end. McGonigal at quarterback, Ekstrom, Mayo, and Milliken at the back positions, and they are tight behind McGonigal in a key second down and 8. The kid goes to Donnie Ross in there for Ekstrom, and he goes off right tackle and crosses the 40-yard line down to about the 39 of Nashua.
Nice little pickup in there as he gets down, as Harvey related to you, to the 39-yard line. A pickup of 4 brings up a third down and 3, and yet another big play. Concord needs to convert these big plays, too, if they plan on getting into this ball game. They're down by 19 points, 26-7.
They have converted the big plays, but they have not played their secondary defense very, very well here today. Backs are split. First man through gets the call. It is Mayo. He gets half of it. They have to get to about the 36-yard line. He got to about the 37. 4th and 2, and a tough call for Coach Gaddy right here. The last 2 fourths are much shorter than this.
That's right. They had a 4th in inches and a 4th in about 2 feet, 24 inches, if you will. This is about a yard and a half shy. It'll be a 4th down and 2 yards to go.
Timeout for Concord High. Nashua leading 27-6. Concord with a big 4th down play. We'll be right back to see if they get it. Stay with us.
The following is a political announcement.
Hi, my name is Jill LeBrun.
And my name is Jeff LeBrun.
Our dad is running for the Concord School Board in the November 5th election.
Dad has over 20 years' experience as a teacher, coach, guidance counselor, and principal.
He would like to help all Concord kids have the best education possible.
Experience counts. Vote for an education professional.
Vote for Don LeBrun for the Concord School Board.
I'm Don LeBrun. I'd appreciate your consideration on November 5th, and I paid for this ad.
Crimson Corner, located in Concord High School, has a wide selection of T-shirts, sweats, jackets, banners, and accessories at super low prices. These distinctive items make great gifts for someone special or for a treat for yourself. Visit and support Crimson Corner, located at Concord High School.
Okay, we have a real interesting call here as Concord has a few, and they are at the 2-yard line, Harvey. This
Jack
is
Gaddy's been in that huddle for a long, long time, and now the official's going to chase him out of there. Look at him.
Yep. Incidentally, while we have just a second, we do want to acknowledge the existence of some of our newer sponsors here for the tournament games, namely Joe King's Shoe Shop, the Crimson Corner, and Phil and Larry's True Variety Store on Warren Street right across from Concord High. And don't forget, Don LeBrun and the rest of the candidates remind you to vote on Tuesday.
All right, 4th down for the Tide. Mayo gets the call. He's across the 35, down near the 32. First down, Concord High. And so the long timeout and the emotional talk by Coach Gaddy inspired the kids as they pull off their 4th down conversion of this quarterfinal game.
Exactly. Second one in this drive. So they have proven to themselves, I think, that they can move the ball against Nashua. What they got to do is to from moving the ball so easily against them.
They are so dangerous, Nashua High. Split back formation. As they pitch it to Mayo, he tries to turn the left corner. He's going to be thrown for a loss. There was that little jet play. Mayo from his fullback position just took off, and Ryan pitched him the ball. He tried to scoot the left side. Flag down in the backfield, way down away from the play.
But this call is...
It's way away from the play. It wasn't even play. It's out there where a pass normally would have been thrown.
It's in the Nashua backfield. It's going to be personal foul against the Purple Panthers, so this is going to be a break for Concord and going to give Concord some excellent field position. They're already on the Nashua 32-yard line. Actually, the ball's sitting right now about the 33-yard line. Line of scrimmage was the 32, so we'll have to see.
Glenn Garner, the defensive back on the left side, was the one that picked up the foul. He's the one that ran that kickoff back. He just gave Concord 15 yards with a personal foul.
There you go, and that's going to set the Tide up with a 1st and 10. And that's going to put the ball all the way down on about the 12-yard, 13, 17-yard line.
So the Crimson Tide of Concord High
18-yard line.
Up
They're
against
losing
it.
yardage.
They have a first down at the Purple Panther 18-yard line. Mayo and Milliken are split behind McGonigal. In the slot is Rod on the right side. McGonigal dances to the right side. He wants to put it in the air. He's got a man open, and it's Blake Savoy at the goal line. Can't hang on. McGonigal on the dead run threw it about 35 yards down into the end zone, and in defense of Blake Savoy, he had to come back toward the ball and did well just to get his hands on it.
Boy, yeah, I thought he was going to come down with that ball, too. It's right on his fingertips and just off his fingertips. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 now from the 18-yard line.
And McGonigal, Bruce, just missed a tackle.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. He did a great job to escape an onrush of a couple of Purple Panthers there in the backfield. One guy in particular had his hand right around his ankle, and he shook loose.
Mike Dowling almost had him. That's not Channel 5's Mike Dowling. That's Nashua's 5'11", 215-pound junior. Tough lineman. Inside handoff. It's Mayo. Fullback trap right up the middle. He's down to the 15, inside, close to the 13-yard line. Mike Mayo has really, as a football player, over the last 3 weeks here, had a huge game, 87 yards on the ground against Dover last Friday night, and he continues here this afternoon.
Pick up a 5 yards on the play, down to the 13-yard line, 3rd and 5. We have 5:50 left here in the first half of play, 26-7, with Nashua on top of Concord.
This drive is accomplishing two things.
Sure
it's getting Concord back in the game if they can convert it, and it's keeping the ball out of red-hot Nashua's hands. McGonigal takes the ball, steps to the right side, goes off tackle, looking for the 5 yards. He's not going to get it. He got 2. Good-looking play. There was a huge hole there, but Ryan didn't find it.
Exactly.
It was there for him, though.
Yeah, he kind of cut to the outside. If he'd cut back to the inside, I think he would have had a little bit more of a hole there. Ball down to the 12-yard line, so it's a pickup of 1 on the play, and here's another one of those 4th down plays. You'd have to say that Concord's got Nashua right where they want him with Concord with a 4th down play. They've had 3 in the first half so far, converted all of them. This is the longest one, though. So we'll have to see here whether they try for a field goal, which would be a long one, or whether they go for the 4 yards, and it looks like they're going to try for the 4 yards, Harvey. Maybe they'll try a long count and try to draw the Panthers
formation,
off.
and Pat Woodard is in on the right side. He has caught a pass in this situation. McGonigal takes it to Ekstrom. He trips. He fags up, puts the ball in the air, and it is broken up at the goal line. Offensive play out there by Nashua High School. The intended receiver was Milliken, who had come out of the backfield, and Keith Duquette made a nice effort to knock that pass down, and so Nashua stops Concord's long drive and will take over the football deep in their territory with 4:46 to play here in the half, and the Purple Panthers lead at 26-7.
13 plays. Concord had marched all the way from their own 27 down to the 12-yard line, just not able to punch it in there, but they did keep the ball out of Nashua's hands. 4:46 left here in the first half. Nashua has the ball at their own 11-yard line, 1st and 10.
Here come the big three, Davis, Ration, LaFontaine. Triple receivers out on the right side. Ouellette looks to the right. Now he passes back to the left. It's a screen back to Ramonda on that side, and he gets across the 15, the 20, the 25, and out to the 30-yard line. So Nashua wide open. Has the receivers out on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and there is a flag down back where the ball was snapped right in the middle of the field.
On that screen play, they'll perfectly set up. I'll tell you, with the passing and the receiving, and then to have the blockers out there in front of you. I mean, that was absolutely run to perfection, except it's all coming back.
They are so dangerous. They have 16 different variations off their offense, and they send the line. They send their big three, LaFontaine and Davis, to the right side, which drew Concord's attention, and then they set up Ramon Miranda, the split end on the other side, with a nice screen.
Absolutely.
So the ball is moved back to the 5.5-yard line, off the hold by Nashua, and that's a break for Concord. It'll be a first down for Nashua and 15 from deep in their territory.
5.5 if you're a Nashua fan, 6-yard line from Concord's standpoint. It's first down, as Harvey said, first and 15 from that point. Incidentally, after you vote on Tuesday, tune in to either Channel 12 or WKXL, or a combination of both will simulcast election returns for you.
All right, LaFontaine gets the call. He's up the middle, dances across the 15 out to the 20. They move it back to the 18, but it's close to a first down. They have to get to the 22. Going to bring up a second down and 3, and a nice-looking run by Chad LaFontaine right there.
Pickup of about 12 to play, so it brings up a second down and 3 yards to go from their own 18-yard line. Yeah, that was a nice run, Harvey.
This is a high-scoring, powerful Nashua High team, I formation. They with LaFontaine in the spot on the left side. They give it to Matt Race, who takes the left handoff and goes off left tackle, and he's across for the first down. I'll tell you how potent this Nashua offense is, everybody. They have 3 kids in the lineup that have enjoyed 4 touchdown games this year. Matty Race had 4 touchdowns against West. Chad LaFontaine had 4 touchdowns against Exeter. And Bryce Ouellette, the quarterback, had 4 touchdowns in a game against Memorial this year. Tough offensive team. I formation for the Panthers. They have a first down as they marched it out of the shadow of their goal line. And they keep it on the ground to Matty Race. And as he gets the ball and goes 3 yards up the middle, the flags go down again here at Holman Stadium. 3:34 to play in the first half.
Nashua, they have forgotten they had one man in motion who came all the way to the sideline before he cut upfield, but also somebody else in the backfield moved, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to cost the Purple Panthers 5 yards right here as they are marched back. They had a first and 10 from the 25. They'll have a first and 15 from the 20.
Concord High School shoulders are sagging and the heads are down a little bit defensively out there, Bruce. You hate to see that, and I know they're disappointed because they couldn't punch that long scoring drive in, and you can see a little bit of dejection on their part.
I don't know if the press box is being shelled or what's going on, but we're hearing some loud bangs in here anyway.
Are we in Dover?
I don't know. God, I hope not. Not again.
All right, I formation in motion. Goes LaFontaine again. This time he does it okay. They're going to go to him. The bomb out here to LaFontaine. He's open over the shoulder. He's got it at the 40. Down to the Concord High 35-yard line as Bryce Ouellette threw the ball a ton. And LaFontaine came in motion to the right side, broke down the right sideline, and actually had to wait for that ball and took it over his head. Perfect reception. What a great throw by Ouellette. 45 yards in the air. Oh, this kid, LaFontaine, is he a threat?
Totally of 55 yards, Harvey. First and 10 for Nashua at the 25.
All right, this time on the ground goes Nate Boudreau for one of the few times. The 6-foot senior gets 3 yards off the right side. He is, I told you about Bryce Ouellette with his 8 touchdown passes this year, including the one today, to 6 different receivers. I mean, you can't concentrate on any one Nashua kid.
Exactly. That was the same play that they were trying to run when they got called for the motion penalty. They're taken down in 2 now, and the ball is down to the something-yard line.
All right. Again, Boudreau gets the call on the rugged full. Boudreau pounces right up the middle, and another flag is down. Bryce Ouellette came into the game with 38 yards passing, and he's going to be close to the 1,000 mark after this game, holding against the Purple Panthers. You probably can hear the stadium announcement in the background here at Holman Stadium, and Nashua with a lot of penalties here, Bruce.
Yeah, they sure have, and a long time ago I had lost count. I also lost count of the yardage. That was a 45-yard pass down at the 35-yard line, and the thing that confused me was that the ball was set up 2nd and 2 at the 27, but now it's set all the way back out right on the 35-yard line, and it's going to be a second down and a bunch.
Concord trying to get it together here. Nashua for the first time here in the first half. 2:14 to play in the half. Nashua with a 26-7 lead.
2nd and 10.
All right, I formation for the Panthers. Ouellette takes the snap, fakes the handoff, puts the ball in the air. He's got a man open. It's completed, and it's knocked out of the hands. Not a fumble down there. Boudreau out of the backfield had the ball, and then he got drilled by Andy Milliken out there. And Blake Savoy, and he never had control of the ball, according to the official, and it is an incomplete pass for one of the few times this afternoon for Bryce Ouellette.
Milliken, Savoy, and the ball all arrived at the exact same moment, and the ball got loose. Everybody else kind of collided. So I guess the ball got the best of that because it just kind of bounced away out of harm's way. Third down and 10 from the Concord 35-yard line.
If Concord could stop them, help their spirits and their confidence a little bit, and now they send the big three to the left side.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Raish is out there. LaFontaine is out there. Ramon Miranda is out there. Ouellette puts the ball in the air, and LaFontaine has it. And a short pass. He's at the 15. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He makes a break into the end zone. He's having an outstanding game here. Chad LaFontaine, a 34-yard touchdown pass from Ouellette to LaFontaine for Nashua's 5th touchdown here this afternoon. And this kid LaFontaine, once he gets the ball, he is just a miracle worker with his athletic feet. I mean, they had him several times, Bruce, and he just eluded tackler after tackler.
They sure did, and Nashua is really piling it on here. Now they lead 32-7 with a point after touchdown coming.
Oh, this is a real surprise. Nashua High, who has attacked through no fault of their own for a weak schedule, I think they welcome the competition today. Nobody in the backfield. Everybody up on the line of scrimmage. The Panthers are going to go for two. Ouellette takes the snap, puts the ball in the end zone. It's dropped by Boudreau in the end zone. But Nashua High has its 5th touchdown, and they lead it 32-7. Concord High, with 1:45 to go in the half, will have a shot at another score. Come back and join us.
At the Allied Insurance Agency at 500 South Street on the Boatown line, their motto, "Your protection is our profession," is practiced daily. Their professional staff is truly at your service when it comes to protecting you, your family, and your business with total insurance coverage at very attractive rates. The Allied Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated, and they know the greater Concord area. They live here, and their staff utilizes the services of excellent New Hampshire insurance companies. And the Allied Insurance Agency firmly believes in supporting the area's youth and have established a long-standing tradition of high school sports sponsorship. So once again, this week, the winning tradition of Allied Insurance and the local high school football continues as the Allied Insurance Agency and WKXL bring you today's live broadcast of the Concord High Crimson Tide as they play in this state Class L tournament game. From Dave Gazaway Sr. and Dave Gazaway Jr., along with the entire staff of the Insurance Agency, good luck and good sportsmanship.
Tuning in here to our football broadcast this afternoon. The news is not good here from Holman Stadium. 1:40 to go in the half, and Nashua with a 32-7 lead, and Nashua High has been nothing short of sensational here, Bruce.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That last drive, 4:06, and
here come the Crimson Tide from the 34-yard line. And Mayo has the call. No, it is Shane Stafford with the call. He's across the 35, the 40, the 45. A nice run by Shane. They pushed the ball back to about the 37 after the spot, but a good first down run by Shane Stafford in the fullback spot right up the middle. Concord High School trying to get on the board before the half here. Ekstrom comes in with the play and then comes back off the field, and he's in there. Milliken goes in the slot, and Mayo and Stafford are the backs behind McGonigal, the quarterback. From the 37 of Concord High, it is a pitch to Stafford. He tries the right side, and he gets pulled down from behind. A good defensive play down there by Rich Flynn of Nashua.
That'll bring up a second down, and they mark the ball just inside the original line. It's a 47-yard line where it is a second down, about 10.5 to go. We are under, just about a half a minute to go in the first half of play. 32-7, Nashua on top.
Andy Milliken in the slot right side, backs a split behind McGonigal. Long count. First man through is Mayo. Fullback trap, has his shirt pulled from behind. Got 3 yards, could have had 7, but somebody pulled him by the shirt right back into the pile. As there are 20 seconds left to go, and the Crimson Tide take a timeout, and Jack Gaddy slowly walks into that huddle out there. And what does the head man say in a situation like this? It's not easy for him, as I'm sure he didn't expect this kind of an effort out of Nashua today. 32 points. You knew something was up when Bryce Ouellette hit Isaac Davis for a 15-yard touchdown pass early in this contest. Mike Mayo had a 34-yard TD run for Concord, and Garrett Stum actually put the Tide to 6 at one point of this game.
Early on.
Then Matty Raish took the ensuing kickoff and ran it 91 yards back for the Panthers, the rush field. Raish on a 14-yard scamper right up the middle on a great run. gave Nashua a 20-7 lead. Glenn Garner, a 60-yard pass interception run back for a touchdown. And then Ouellette to LaFontaine, a 34-yard pass for a touchdown. That was set up on a 45-yard pass from Ouellette to LaFontaine, and they have been hot.
They sure have been. Whew.
And you sound like your voice is going a little bit.
Well, maybe just a little bit here.
Are you a little
I'm
dejected here?
overwhelmed by the stats here, trying to do everything at once here. I need another set of hands. Where's Jeremy when I need him?
Oh, boy. So Concord High with 20 seconds on the clock. McGonigal goes back. He's going to get sacked way back. He throws the ball away, and it's almost picked off. Ryan threw the ball away, and the flag goes down, and I bet they're going to call illegal grounding, and they do against Ryan McGonigal. Intentional grounding.
Well,
because he had 5 guys on him, and I mean they were ripping him to the ground, and he let the ball go. You don't think that's intentional?
Well, you got to try what you got to try. 12 seconds left here in the first half of play.
He's a gamer.
You're down by a bunch, and Concord is going to be marching back now to inside the 40-yard line, inside the 35. No, just to the 36-yard line, I think it is. Kind of hard to pick. Kind of hard to pick up because they are on the dirt part of the infield, just this side of second base. As we said, off the third baseline here is Holman Stadium is a baseball field and a football field, and they are on the dirt part. Many times we've been down here and seen that dirt as mud. Not today, though.
The Crimson Tide in a punting situation. McGonigal counting heads.
First
and
punt of the
Dave
game.
Lossage is in there. Nice snap. Ryan steps up, hits the ball, and they want to keep it away from LaFontaine, and they do, and everybody from Nashua backs away from it, and it falls down inside the Purple Panther 25 to the 24-yard line. 1 second left to play here. 1 second. And will Nashua try one long bomb or be content with a 32-7 lead? Let's see what the head coach, Bob Almeyer, does for Nashua High. Nashua's going to take a timeout and talk about this. Bruce, if I told you that Bryce Ouellette, who has 9 TD passes here in 1991, and Chad LaFontaine, who has a bundle of touchdowns, and Ramon Miranda, an outstanding receiver, are only juniors and are all back. What would your reaction be?
I would hope I don't see Nashua on the schedule for Concord High next season.
Isn't that amazing?
It sure is.
And 3 or 4 of the offensive linemen are only juniors, and maybe these kids have arrived early. They look super today.
That came into the game having passed 738 yards in the regular season. And Matt Raish came in rushing 610 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Look at this. 4 receivers out on the rock.
I wonder what they're going to do.
Holy cow. Nobody in that backfield. Can they get to Ouellette before he can unload it? It's going to be a long bomb, and here come the troops, and it's an offside. It's a penalty. Ouellette's going to keep the ball. He runs to the left side. He's across the 30, the 40. He's out near midfield, and there was a flag down, and had it gone all the way, it wouldn't have counted because Nashua was offside. With the penalty going against the offensive team, that will end the half here, and the Nashua Purple are going to take a 32-7 lead. It is against Nashua High, and the stadium announcer is telling the kids to hold it here. The officials are probably going to be up and give him a little lecture. You can see the kids stop there, and the guy said, hold it. And Jack Gaddy is not one happy man coming off here as he walks with his head bowed down, and he's got his toughest job ahead of him right now as he has to go into that locker room and get a group of kids together who are emotionally very, very down right now. And the SAT examinations, I don't know what an effect it had on the Concord High kids. I just think it's a great effort by Nashua right here. And so Jack Gaddy is getting his coaches together out on the football field before he goes into the locker room, and they trail at 32. We're going to set up our halftime show for you, everybody here, and we have a mystery guest or two, and you'll be surprised. I'm sure you'll enjoy our interviews and our halftime show. So come back and join us this afternoon from Holman Stadium, and maybe, just maybe, the halftime show will be the highlight of the day.
I'm going to take a little nap. All right?
We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us here.
Jim Burney of Burney Sports in Concord congratulates the Crimson Tide for another great football season. Now, with the winter sports programs beginning, Bernie Sports has the equipment your team will need, from uniforms to balls and scorebooks. Bernie Sports even has jerseys for referees. When you do business with Bernie Sports, you don't travel all over because Jim Bernie will come to your home or office. So as you prepare to order uniforms and supplies for the upcoming sports season, let Bernie Sports help you. Call 224-2131, 224-2131.
For comfort and style, Champion Athletic Apparel is the rage this fall and winter. Joe King Shoe Shop at 18 Pleasant Street, Concord offers a large selection of sweatshirts, sweatpants, shorts, and t-shirts, each in the wide variety of colors, style, and sizes you've been waiting for. So whatever your sport, look to Joe King Shoe Shop for all your athletic footwear, apparel, and accessories. Joe King for personal professional service. Open Thursday and Friday evenings.
Bruce Lamoy along with Harvey Smith here at Holman Stadium in the Gate City, where the Nashua Purple Panthers have romped out to a 32-7 halftime lead over the Crimson Tide. 14-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Roulette to Isaac Davis got things going for Nashua. Point after touchdown failed, 6-0. The Panthers on top. 34-yard touchdown run by Mike Mayo put Concord on the board, tying it up at 6 apiece. Garrett Stum with the point after touchdown kick, and for a brief time, Concord actually led this football game by a score of 7-6. On the ensuing kickoff, though, it was Nashua with a 91-yard kickoff return by Matt Raish. Point after touchdown, no good. The two-point conversion failed. 12-7 with Nashua on top at that point. Nashua would then add another touchdown on a 14-yard. Matt Raish, his second consecutive football carry and his second consecutive touchdown. Roulette would add a two-point conversion, just scampering inside the cone in the corner of the end zone for a 20-7 lead. A 60-yard pass interception by Glenn Garner would set up Nashua's next score, 26-7, as the point after touchdown failed. And then a 34-yard pass from Roulette to Chad LaFontaine would give Nashua their 32-7 lead. Point after touchdown failed there too. So that's where we stand with a 32-7 lead with Nashua on top here. Good crowd being treated to a less than ideal football game from Concord's perspective, but nonetheless a pretty good halftime show underway right now with the Concord High Band on the field and the Nashua High Band to follow. Harvey Smith has his mystery guest all lined up. Come back and join us to find out who it is.
High school sports are a source of great interest and pride, not only for the schools involved, but the communities they represent as well. High school sports can help bring a community together, providing a common focus to care about and to cheer for. Because of this important role in the lives of our communities, high school sports are about a lot of winning and losing. They're about work together and growing together. That's why high school sports are such a tradition in the Capital Region. And the Capital City law firm of Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and Oyer, on behalf of its employees, clients, and friends, is pleased to be a part of this tradition by helping to bring these broadcasts to the community. And even more pleased to be a part of a community that cares so much for its young people.
We are back here at Holman Stadium, Class L quarterfinals here on 1450 Sports Radio. I'm Harvey Smith at the half. And the news is not good down here, everybody. Nashua High School's fantastic offense has been red hot in the first half, and they have 32 points up on this board here at Holman Stadium. The Crimson Tide have 7, a Mike Mayo 34-yard touchdown run and a stump kick for their only points. Here in 91, the Crimson Tide have come back in a few situations. On homecoming, they trailed Spalding High by 20 points and came back to 20-13 and had the ball down inside the 15-yard line in a comeback bid. Down on the coast against Portsmouth, they trailed by 14 points and it came back and took the lead 21-14, only to see Portsmouth come back and grab a lead 29-21, and Concord came back again in that game to tie it up 29-29. So Concord, this group of kids does have a history of coming back this year, and Jack Gaddy has his work cut out for them right now to see if they can muster up yet one more comeback here in 1991. I promised you a mystery guest that would please you. Young man who quarterbacked for the Crimson Tide back in the, and then went on to be a very prominent college quarterback at the Columbia University, Bruce Mayhew. joining us in the broadcast booth. Bruce, good afternoon, and good to see you again.
Nice to see you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it is. And I know that probably the first individual on this football field that you probably want to single out for our listeners back in the capital city area, 5'10" junior Bryce Ouellette, the Nashua High quarterback. He's a beauty, isn't he?
He's looked real well, throws the ball extremely well, and he's led the team to 32 points in one half, which is exceptionally well.
I know that you like, you under Don LeBrun threw a lot of passes at Concord High, and then again you were given the green light to throw in college. You must love this Nashua offense.
That's great. They do a lot. They're very diversified, do a lot of different things, and it's nice to see the ball in the air. A little different than what Coach Gaddy does.
It is, and being behind by 32-7, Concord High with its T formation. The T formation is a little bit difficult to try to come back with that many points down.
It's going to be tough. 25 points. They're going to need at least 4 possessions to do it.
I think, Bruce, that where Concord really has to start first, though, is on the defensive end of the field.
That's definitely for sure. They need to stop this high-power air attack by Nashua. They really do. They need to stop a few short drives so they can get the ball back and be in this.
I think the 91-yard kickoff return took the wind out of Concord's sails. Those are the situations that shouldn't be in a playoff game. Last week against Dover, Concord almost gave up a couple of kickoff situations, and only some heroics by Concord kids behind the back tackles to get them down stopped it. But here today, the 91-yard kickoff return and the 60-yard pass interception return, those two plays really broke Concord's back.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating for players. I know the special teams Coach Gaddy prides himself on, and you don't like to see those type of things happen on a kickoff return.
How tough a job does Coach Gaddy have right now? You've been in that locker room down at halftime before, and you know what goes on in a teenager's mind. How tough is it for him to regroup those kids now and get them to come out here and play a second half?
Well, it's a playoff game, and this is it. No more games after this. They've got to do it. So I think for the players, they have to look at it that this is the last game, and that there are always turnarounds each week. There's always big college games that a team will come back from a lot and come back and win it. And I think for players, they have to think for themselves that this could be their chance to come back.
If a group of kids can come back, it's this group. They have demonstrated it here in 91. They have come back on occasion this year.
Well, I mean, it shows a lot of confidence in the players to be able to.
Tell us about your career at Columbian quarterback out there and playing in a tough Ivy League conference, and certainly a little different from high school football. Did you enjoy your college days out there?
I loved it. I mean, I wish we had won a few more games, but it was the people there were great. The coaching staff was super, and I had a wonderful experience. Wouldn't change it for the world.
That's nice, and now you graduated, and I'm told out into the workforce and into the real world, huh?
That's right. It's a little different than being in school.
I know one other thing that you perhaps can relate to our fans and give us a little bit of the emotional side of it. The Concord High kids, I know 9 kids on the team. I'm not sure about Nashua, but 9 kids on the Concord team took the SAT test this morning, and that's that 2.5, 3-hour test, and then they get on a bus and come down here. How fatiguing is that on an athlete to have to take that test, which means so much to them, and yet have a playoff game on the same day?
Oh, it's emotionally draining. I mean, it's a long day that they're having with two things that are very important to them: football and the test. And but I think it's a playoff game, so they have to overcome that and do their best. But it is very difficult for them.
And yet, this test was set up traditionally the first Saturday in November is always the first SAT date across the country and here in the state of New Hampshire. And for the seniors, this is really their last shot at that SAT test. This is the one they have to take. The one in December is almost a little too late to start registering for college, and so this is important to them. They can't avoid that test, and they also can't avoid this playoff game. The two come head-to-head. Sports
Exactly.
and academics come head-to-head today. That's tough.
Yep. I can imagine what these players are going through last night. All nervous about the SATs, and also nervous about a playoff game.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure on a player. He's 17 years old.
Well, it hasn't been easy, and again, I'm not blaming the SAT folks. Don't get me wrong. Nashua High has been just nothing short of brilliant out here. I mean, their offense has just been perfect to watch.
Oh, I mean, you've got to look at it. The Concord players had the test, then they had to travel down here and then play. I mean, it's a super load for those players. And Nashua, luckily, were playing at home.
That is true. And, given the run-and-shoot offense here and the passing that Nashua does, isn't this the perfect type of day to pass the football?
It's nice. It's beautiful. It's not wet. It's nice and cool. It's a great day to throw the ball.
No wind.
No wind at all.
Yeah,
That's real nice to see.
The quarterback can field the ball. And what about the passes of Bryce Olette? Are they right on the money?
They've looked really well. I mean, he's very impressive what I've seen. He throws a nice spiral, and that long bomb he threw showed him that he could throw it deep.
And he's only a junior, as is Chad Lonfontaine, the kid that caught that ball over his shoulder, as is the other nice receiver, Ramon Miranda. These kids will be something next year.
Yeah, they're very young. I'm surprised to see that. You know, in a pressure situation like this, in a playoff game, playing so well. And yet only juniors, young team.
Well, I heard one time when you were in college and you were up against it, and you guys had to make that long trip from the New York Cornell University and, through the cold and the dark, dreary fall days of the upper New England states and up into the western part of New York, and you came out of the locker room to take the field and had the surprise of your life up there.
Yeah, Don LeBrun was there. He made the trip all the way from Concord for the game, and that got me juiced a little bit, seeing him there.
What kind of a game did you have that day?
I had, up to that point, it was my best game of my career.
No kidding.
And it was a big win for us. It was our one win my junior year.
Just one person, one friend from home can do that.
Yeah,
I
tell you, it makes your day. It makes you feel good that at least somebody's there watching. And it gives you that much more energy to play.
How important was football to you in your development in terms of your overall discipline and getting through college and now establishing yourself in the workforce?
It was very, very important things in my life. And, I would never trade experience of football in for anything. And it helps a lot, discipline-wise. See, the coaches tell you what to do, and you better do it. And it helps, especially with studying.
Well, you still sound like you have the discipline, Bruce, and I just hope that the Concord people can appreciate what has happened to a former athlete at Concord High and now in Ivy League education and into the workforce. And, hey, thanks so much for sharing some time this afternoon. Maybe Concord High can get back in this thing, Bruce.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, it's not out of the woods yet, 32-7 in favor of Dave Adams came up with a formation cue for that game, and what he did was very similar to what we're seeing here in terms of Jack Gaddy's T formation. He lined up the backs, these three backs, tight behind the quarterback, and it was Billy Ahern at the time, but they were right behind the quarterback, and when Billy Ahern, the quarterback, took the snap from center, his Crimson Tide teammates would pick him up and throw him downfield as far as he could, formation Q, and that kind of threw Nashua off, and Concord won the game 10-6. Now, since then...
How many yards did they throw him?
Well,
does that qualify as a forward pass?
Oh, yeah. How do you like that? So the poor guy got thrown downfield, but Concord won the game, right? They threw him into the end zone for their touchdown. See? Now, wait a minute now, Bruce. But now, at the end of that season, the coaches got together across the state and said, wait a minute, we can't have formation Q, so they disallowed it. Now, in 1901, Coach... you ready for this? Davey Adams comes up with a new formation, all right? And because the formation Q's out of there, he comes up with the revolving wedge offense against Nashua High. And what he did was, when he got to the line of scrimmage, he lined his 6 Concord High kids up behind one of the tackles in a circle, and they would lock arms and shoulders in a complete circle. And once they were grouped in there, quarterback Billy Ahern would take the snap and then jump into the circle, and the wedge would rotate down the field. And Concord High won that game 21-0. And since then, formation Q and rotating wedge has been disallowed, but it is part of the history of this Nashua Concord series, the 88th meeting today. So there's a lot of tradition, and Concord hasn't been able to play Nashua over the last 2 years because of the computer scheduling and the fact that there are 18 teams now in Class L, and it's too bad that Concord can't play a Central and a Nashua every year. They've actually played a Central 92 times, and Bruce, today or this season in 1991 is the first time in 50 years, and only the second time since 1900 in 92 years that Concord and Manchester did not get together on the football field.
None of the 4 Manchester schools in Concord.
Yep.
Yeah.
First time in 50 years and only the second time in 92 years. And, that's a shame. The computer has taken away whatever rivalries and traditions that Concord High had.
Absolutely.
And I hate to see that.
We have some more stats from the first half, and they bear out what the scoreboard says, 32-7 with Nashua on top. Concord has rushed for 118 yards in the game, which you might say is not too bad, especially when you compare it to Nashua's 53 yards on the ground. But passing, Concord has 7. Nashua has rolled up on the arm of Willette. 157 yards, 210 yards for offense for Nashua, 125 yards for Concord. And as we say, they lead by a score of 32-7. We have a couple of other scores from around the state, too. Pinkerton leading Memorial now 27-3. At one point, a little bit of a surprise that Memorial actually led that football game over in Derry by a score of 3-0, and they now trail 27-3. So we knew the cream would rise to the top in that one, and it certainly has. The other one is a little bit of a surprise, Harvey. I think you and I were talking on the way down to Nashua here. We're kind of thinking that this game might come right down to the wire and be a real close game, but Merrimack all over Dover by a score of 20-7, and those games are considerably further along than we are, probably getting close to fourth quarter time in both Derry and Merrimack, because they started at the 1:45, which was the original kickoff time labeled for this game.
There's for that score that you're just giving us, and ever since that football fiasco between Dover and Portsmouth back 3 weeks ago, neither Dover or Portsmouth has won a game since then. Portsmouth lost 2 games, and they were upset by Winnicott to close out their season. Dover, after winning their first 6 games, now are going to lose their last 3 in a row since that fight. And how disruptive was that? I really believe that the players should have had no part in that, and they're paying the price now.
That's right. That's right. Well, we have learned from different people who we have talked to after that Dover game. Our broadcast went very well, and it was a pretty good game, but we found out about some ugly things that had gone on around the perimeter of the football field, if you will, not involving fans, but from Concord, luckily. But the Concord High School band went home after their halftime. She didn't want to be abused anymore. They were spat upon. They were sworn at. One of the kids, we know for a fact, was hit in the head by a bottle that was thrown out of the stands. From what I have heard, the Dover football team, which ran right through the middle of the band as they were marching off the field, was rather abusive to some of the band members. And from what I heard, and this is the way it was put to me, some of those little girls were scared to death because those are some big football players and in their pads and everything, and with the threatening moves that were made, not necessarily threatening, but they certainly felt threatened, let's put it that way. And it was a real ugly scene over there. And there's Dover right in the middle of it again. And, when we had talked to the Dover coach, I kind of felt sorry for Dover. I thought maybe they had gotten the short end of the deal with Portsmouth in town. But now after hearing that, with what had happened with the Concord High band over there, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that Dover got nailed the way that they would lead you to believe they did.
I know Greg Cagliari, the Dover High principal, and I know Mr. Laporto, the athletic director, and they're quality men, and I'm sure that they will take the bull by the horns and rectify that situation. And Dover High, a really good rival for all the teams, and especially Concord, and I'm sure that situation will be corrected by next year. Here at Holman Stadium, the Nashua High Purple Panther Marching Band is putting on a really neat show.
They sure are.
And they have a big poster of Mickey Mouse out here, and then a young lady dressed up as a mouse, and she was skipping through the band and weaving back and forth, and they were playing the Mickey Mouse song, and they're very, very entertaining. And if Harvey and Bruce are talking about the band, then something must be wrong with the game if you just tuned in. And, yeah, folks, something is wrong with the game. Nashua 32, Concord 7, and I'm telling you, I don't think anybody expected this kind of a first half.
No, absolutely. Maybe not surprised that Nashua is ahead. After all, they did come in with a 7-1 record. We had not seen them play this year, and we're surprised to be here. We expected to be over today where Spalding is taking on Trinity. Incidentally, they must be playing that game in a vacuum over there. Nobody has a score on it from any place. We'll try to track that down for you later on. But
that must be on the radio down there.
I would, I'm not sure.
Well, Nashua is out on the field. Concord just comes out. Nashua High has 11 football championships. It has a rich tradition of football here in the state of New Hampshire. And Concord High hit football titles, 2 of them in Class B, when only Nashua and Central were considered A-caliber schools because of enrollment, but 3 championships in Division I or Class L since '72 when they instituted the playoff system. Nashua High, they started keeping track of football champions back in 1951, and what they would do is take the number 1 team after the regular season and declare them the champion, and Nashua won 7 of the first 9 back then, and then since then They have won 4 through a playoff system. They have a history of strong football down here.
Oh, they sure do. The years that Nashua has been on top in football or near the top are many, many over the teams that they have had that have been down. And they appear on their way to either Rochester or have Trinity here if to upset the Spalding Red Raiders. But it looks like Nashua is on its way. And granted, we have 24 minutes of football left here, so anything can happen. But right now, if nothing changes from the Concord side, if they don't find a way to stop this passing offense, this is going to be it for the Crimson Tide in 1991.
One of the greatest games in Concord High history down here at this field occurred back in 1979 when Easy Ed Sirica was at the helm for the Crimson Tide. Concord High was trailing with 14 seconds left, and they got a 23-yard tying touchdown run out of Billy McGowan. And then they went into overtime, and Steve Fuller scored a touchdown and then kicked the extra point to give Concord a thrilling 27-26 overtime win. And how happy Ed Sirica must have been that night.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we have the second half kickoff coming up. Why don't we take another 60-second break back at the station while they decide the formalities of who's going to play where. We know Concord will receive the second half kickoff. We'll give you all the details and have the kickoff for you in 60 seconds. Stay with us.
The area's family footwear center, Denroy Shoes at 76 North Main Street in downtown Concord, invites you to the locker room. It's the new locker room at Denroy Shoes, and it's chock full of great Nike footwear and Nike clothing. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nikes for men, for women, and for children. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nike gym and book bags, Nike hats, Nike t-shirts, Nike sweats, and cool, comfortable Nike nylon jackets and pants. You'll love the selection, and you'll find the values outstanding. Of course, for athletic footwear, the locker at Denroy Shoes just can't be beat for selection. Men and women can choose a Nike shoe for every athletic activity, from walking to cross-training, from tennis to basketball, from cleated to running, from force to the Nike Air. So when it comes to athletic footwear, you look to Nike. And when it comes to Nike, look to the locker room at Denroy Shoes, 76 North Main Street, in the heart of downtown Concord.
Well, we just received word from Dale Sanborn back at the station. Thank you, Dale. Just won their 7th in a row, 45-26 over BU. Boy, are they solidifying their hold on the Yankee Conference. Here's the second half kickoff. Nashua from right to left across your radio dial. Here's the voice of Concord High football, Harvey Smith.
All right, Bruce Lavoie and Andy Orbit gets his foot into the ball, and it's coming down to Shane Stafford at the 7. He steps up to the 10, the 15. He's out to the 25 before Nashua can catch him, and he actually comes to rest at the 28-yard line. So let's see what kind of a meeting Coach Gaddy and the kids had at halftime and see if they can put some respectability back into this second half. I'm sure what he told them was go out and win the second half. Don't worry about winning the game, but see if you can win the second half.
That's right. The ball's at their own 29-yard line, just underway here in the second half of play. Concord with a 1st and 10.
Andy Milliken in the slot on the right side. And the backs are split to start this third period off. They give it to Matty Ekstrom. He tries the right side, and he's not going to go anywhere as Nashua's defense has been so rugged all afternoon. Stop him right at the line of scrimmage. John Forrestal is in at center, 6-foot senior. Dave Lossage, a 6'1" senior at right guard. Tom Marshall, a 5'10" senior at the left guard. Og Young, a 6'4", 240-pound senior tackle at the left side. Eric, a senior tackle on the right side. Gary, senior end right side, and Blake Savoy, sophomore end on the left side for Concord High. Andy Milliken, a senior, in the spot on the left side this time. Mayo is back there at his regular football slot, and they give it to Shane Stafford, and he's stopped and going to be thrown for a loss. And I'll tell you, I don't know what Coach Gaddy said, but the Nashua coaching staff has the Purple Panther defense really fired up to start this second half.
They sure have. They have stopped Concord now on consecutive plays with allowing a 1-yard gain and another 1-yard gain. Actually, it's closer to 1.5 yards that they've given up. The ball sitting right on the 30-yard line, third down and about 8.5.
And the Nashua with a 5-man defensive look, very intimidating up there. And a loss again as Mike Mayo comes through. I thought Shane Stafford had the ball and he was thrown to the ground, but it was the fullback trap and went all the way out to the 40-yard line on a first down. And I frankly admit I did not see the fullback trap. Great deception by Concord.
9th first down of the ball game for Concord High, by the way.
Both McGonigal and Ekstrom were thrown down after the handoff because Nashua kids thought they had the ball. At the 40 comes Concord High. Don Ross, slot left side. Ekstrom in the backfield with Shane Stafford. Stafford gets the call. Fullback trap right up the middle, into midfield and into Nashua High territory.
And this is another nice pickup here by the Concord running game, as they have had some nice pickups here this afternoon. They just haven't been able to punch the ball into the end zone since early in the first quarter, when they actually took a 7-6 lead in this ball game. They now trail 32-7, with 9.5 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Nashua has a big defense, everybody. Gene Karulik, 201 tackle. Ray DeRusha, 225-pound nose guard. Oh, man. Yeah, first man through gets the call, and he gets down to about the 45. It's going to be close to a first down.
Yeah, real close here. It depends on the spot of the ball. They have to get just over the 45-yard line. Oh, right over the 50-yard line.
Mike Mayo on carry.
They're going to mark it just shy of the 50.
And it's another big down for the Crimson Tide right here. Third down and about a yard to go. The ball is at the 50-yard line, and they have to get to the Nashua 49.
They tried 4 fourth down conversions in the first half, got 3 of them.
Not a bad percentage. Asher's offsides. That should give Concord a first down if Concord didn't pull anybody off, and the official heads for the Concord High captain, Tom Marshall. So that would indicate that it's going against Nashua, and that'll be a automatic first down for the Crimson Tide.
Well, that 5 yards will give Concord its 10th first down of the game. Nashua has only 6 first downs, Harvey, but they have 32 points on the board. Because they've been doing it via the big plays, a couple of runbacks and a pass interception.
They have. All right, first down for the Crimson Tide. They're at the 45-yard line of Andy Milligan. No, fake to Milligan. McGonigal keeps, tries the left side, and he gets hauled down from behind. A nice defensive play by Glenn Garner, a halfback who came across the line of scrimmage and ran all the way to the other side of the field and hauled McGonigal down from the other side. Unbelievable. He hauled him down from behind.
Yeah, for no gain on the play. The ball sitting right at the 45-yard line now, and it's a second down and 10.
And the officials hold up proceedings here. Looks like a Nashua player. He's not hurt, but a piece of his equipment has come uncoiled out there.
Knee pad got askew or what have you as he fixes it. Now he's up walking around, and everything appears to be back to normal.
He's got one of those wraps around his calf and his knee area, and it's held on by Velcro. So he just does the job himself. Doesn't even need the trainer out there.
There you go.
All right, second down.
That's the way football players used to be. They used to valve.
Never had sophisticated equipment like that. Slot right side goes Andy Milligan. McGonigal back to pass. He puts the ball in the air. Ekstrom has it in a screen pass situation. It breaks at one tackle but can't break the other at the 40-yard line.
Great tackle in there.
Oh, yeah, Isaac. Boy, he is tough. Isaac Davis, he's such a physical football player. 6'2", 215 pounds, a beautiful build on the gun. A good hitter. I mean, he really hits hard.
He spent some time in the weight room, Harvey. What do you think?
No question, and he's quick.
Yep, very quick. Ball down to the 40-yard line, pick up a 5 yards on the play. Third down and 5 for the Crimson Tide from the Nashua 40.
All right, Shane Stafford flanked out on the right side. Now he goes to motion, gets the handoff in a reverse, tries to scoot the corner. Good lead block thrown out there, but Stafford's not going to be able to take advantage of it because the Nashua pursuit is just too tough.
Well,
nice lead block by Dave Blossage, the guard on the right side. He pulled and led the charge around the left side.
But the pursuit and all just kind of kept rolling and picking up a little foot of yardage here and there and here and there. And here we are measuring for a first down, Harvey, and I think they may have it.
Haven't seen that play all year.
That's right. And it just
Stafford
kind of
was flanked on the right side, came in motion, and went reverse to the left.
It's like that circle that you described there during the halftime, and everything moved ahead.
Oh,
and
the
enough for a
revolving wedge?
first down for Concord High.
Did you like that story about the revolving wedge?
That was amazing. Yeah, the revolving wedge. And that, without calling that what it is, that's basically what happened there. But it was Nashua and Concord players who were all kind of wound in there together, and Stafford just kept heading down the field, and lo and behold, he's got a first down, and they're at the 35-yard line.
All right, Don Ross, he tries it on the right side now. He's not going to go in motion. He's going straight down the field. Hand off to the fullback into the middle of the line. Gets 3 yards, and then Mayo gets thrown back into the backfield. Oh, the
6
Nashua
Nashua
linebackers.
players.
They're just so quick. The Nashua linebackers are having an outstanding game. Steve O'Connor is a good defensive player, we're told. and Isaac Davis. We've addressed him, and Eric Dion, and all three of those kids are seniors and tough hitters.
I've not seen a team that can play with Pinkerton this year until perhaps this Nashua team. I don't know if they have the offensive guns, believe it or not, even though they lead 32-7, but I think they could play with Pinkerton.
You may be right. They haven't been tested. They really haven't been tested, and it's not their fault. The computer gave them the schedule. First man through for the Crimson Tide. It was a 2nd and 8 situation, and they're going to pick up 3 yards on the play. Shane Stafford on the carry for the Crimson Tide.
And Nashua has not played Winnicott this year, so I know that would be looking 2 weeks down the road, and there's an awful lot of football between now and then.
Nashua has not played Pinkerton, then.
Nope.
And they have not played Merrimack, and they have not played Spalding. And again, it's the computer that does it, and they take a bad rap down here. All right, backs are split. 3rd down, 3 for the Crimson Tide. They're at the 30-yard line of the Panthers. Stafford pitch left side, turns the corner, heads upfield, crosses the 30. And that's where he had to get. He comes to rest at the 28. Even with a bad spot of the ball, it should be a first down, and it is. Nice run by Shane Stafford right there. Nice quick feet right there.
I got to tell you, I would not be at all surprised to see Nashua and Pinkerton in the championship game 2 weeks hence.
Well, for a Spalding game next week, it could be a good one, but this one's not over yet.
That's right.
Don't read us wrong, everybody. First man through Mayo, fullback right up the middle, and Concord High with a nice, long, sustained drive. But what it does is it's keeping the ball out of Nashua's hands, but at the same token, it's also running this clock down for the Nashua kids who are leading 32-7.
Yeah, Concord took the opening kickoff, and then they have held the ball for 7.5 minutes in this period. We're down to 4 minutes and 40 seconds left, and Concord is still, 15, 20 yards shy of the end zone with a 2nd down and 6.
Ball's at the 19-yard line, 2nd and 6 for the Tide. Backs are split again. They've gotten away from the tee a little bit. McGonigal keeps, fakes the pass, tucks it under his shoulder. He's going to run down the field across the 15, down to about the 14 or 13. So Ryan McGonigal faked the pass and then turned around down the right sideline to about the 13-yard line.
Now, Concord had a terrific drive there in the first half, but they were stopped at about this point on the field as they were not able to punch it in at that point. And we'll see if things go a little differently for the Crimson Tide here. It's a 2nd down and 3rd down, rather, and or is it first down? It's first down.
At the 12. He's at the 12-yard line with the spot of the ball. Ekstrom, Stafford split behind McGonigal. Milligan on the left side. It is a pitch to Shane Stafford. Left side, turns the corner. He's at the 10, the 5, the 3, and the flags are down near the goal line. He did not get in. He was close, but the flags are down on the field, and it's a face mask against Nashua. It'll be half the distance to the goal line.
Boy, so this will definitely set up a 1st and goal for the Crimson Tide as they are nudging the end zone right there. And I'll tell you, Harvey, I wish I'd brought my Windex.
No, Nashua has taken a lot of penalties here in this quarterfinal playoff game here this afternoon, and if you ever see a Nashua-Pinkerton final and you predicted maybe Nashua can play with them, they would have to certainly cut out the penalties. They've had a ton of them here, Bruce.
They sure have, and they've been rather big penalties. It hasn't hurt them that much on the scoreboard. Goal at the 1-yard line.
All right, at the 1-yard line, the Concord High Crimson Tide trying to make a game out of this. Bring the T formation to the 1, long count. They give us to Mayo. He's into the heart of the line. They pile up down there. The officials unpile the Purple Panthers, and at the bottom, a little kid with number 8 on his shirt with all that massive purple humanity on him at the goal line, not quite in.
Yeah, still sitting outside that stripe.
So it'll be a 2nd and goal for the Crimson Tide. 3:21 to play in this quarterfinal contest from Hallman Stadium in Nashua. Concord trailing 32-7 and needs some scoring in a hurry. T formation right from that 1-inch line. Long count. They give us to Andy Milligan. He dances. He's in the end zone, left side. Milligan with his 12th touchdown of the season. And the Concord High kids across the way in the stands come alive, and they finally have something to cheer about. As the Crimson Tide of Concord High get their 2nd touchdown, Andy Milligan his 11th or 12th touchdown of the year. And it was a nice block thrown by Old Young and Tom Marshall on that left side to free Andy to step into the end zone. So Concord's going to go for 2 here. They need all the points they can get. 32-13 with the try for two coming up from the 2.5-yard line. And the flags are going to go down here. Keeper by McGonigal, left side, turns up inside, and he gets tackled right at the goal line. A lot of confusion in that Concord High backfield, and that's going to make the play dead, and Concord's going to have to settle for the 6-point touchdown, and it's 32-13, and can Concord's defense come alive now? They kept that ball for a long time.
71 yards, 16 plays, 8 minutes and 29 seconds, and the Tide punch it in on a 1-yard touchdown run by Andy Milliken over the left side. The point after touchdown, as Harvey just related to you, failed, and that's where we stand right now with a 32-13 count at Holman Stadium in the Gate City. We will be back with the kickoff in 30 seconds.
Horizon Bank, we're proud to serve you, our neighbors and friends, because working together we've made this community strong. Please visit us often and let us know how we're doing at Horizon Bank. We care about making our services as complete and convenient as possible. Through continued teamwork, we'll ensure your success and the success of the entire community. Now that's financial muscle. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
All right, Garrett's thumb kicks it away from one back, but Race picks it up, and he comes across the 20, the 25, the 30, the 30, to the 40, the 45, and out of bounds at the 50-yard line. And Nashua almost broke yet another kickoff return. Matt Race, who raced for 91 yards on a kickoff return, almost did it there. Woo. 50-yard line is the spot of the ball, 1st and 10 for the Purple Panthers. That kid is quick. They try to keep it away from LaFontaine, who has 6 runbacks this year, and Race does the job here and runs it back. Race gets the call here, and he is swarmed under, gang tackled at the 50. 7 Concord High kids to bring him down, and he finally rolls ahead 2 or 3 yards as to come down under all that pressure.
I'll tell you what, Harvey. Back in Derry a few weeks ago, we had heard Coach Gaddy talk about Pinkerton and say that they have a lot of toys to play with. This Nashua team has a lot of toys to play with, too. It's a good team.
They are a high-powered offense. Class L quarterfinals from Holman Stadium, 32-13, Nashua leading. 2.5 minutes to play here in period number 3. As the I formation comes out now to the Concord High 47-yard line. Roulette fakes the run, back to pass. He's being chased heavily. Tom Marshall's got him, but he gets the pass away to Race. He's still way back behind the line of scrimmage, and Concord still throws Nashua for a loss on a great individual play by Tom Marshall, who just chased the quarterback all the way down to the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, they set up a screenplay over the right side with no blocking downfield, and it's really a case of Concord throwing Nashua for a loss because the receiver tried to make a cut, just fell down, and once the knee is down in high school football, zing-zang, that's the end of the play right there. So They are back now at their own 44-yard line with a 3rd and 17.
That sounds like a loss to me.
Yeah, it sure does.
3rd and 17. All right.
But they were thrown down.
All right. Triple receivers out on the left side. Roulette dances back. He looks at that trip out there, puts it in the air, and he's got a man open, and it's complete to about the 48-yard line, and that's a new receiver in there for Nashua High, and it's Brian Brisbois, 5'9", senior end, and he makes his first reception of the afternoon.
So it's 4th and 11, and Nashua will punt for the first time this afternoon. This is only the second.
LaFontaine, and there were at least 16 Concord High guys on the field, and no flags go down. Shane Stafford fields the punt at the 20, runs back to the 15, and gets tackled at the 13. Rather than head straight up the field, he tried to dodge the oncoming Nashua pursuit and turned it into a little bit of a loss down there. I said there were 15 to 18 Concord High kids on the field. That was true, but that was the officials' fault, as Concord High sent in its special team kids, and the officials didn't allow the kids enough time to get off the field, and Nashua snapped the ball, but the officials just didn't throw the flag.
Exactly. I think they recognized it as the reason why there were so many kids on. Obviously not trying to get in the play.
All right, can Concord come up with another long, sustained drive? McGonigal's going to put it in the air off the back foot. He has it out there. Ekstrom comes back to the ball, makes the catch out near the 37-yard line. Nice comeback catch by Matty Ekstrom on a ball thrown on the dead run by Ryan McGonigal.
Yeah, going to his left, too. And, of course, being the right-handed quarterback that he is, it's tough for him to toss from across his body like that. But he got that ball downfield a long way, and he had to come back for it, the receiver, but still was able to pick up the first down. They're out to the 37-yard line.
We'll open things up here now. First man through is Mayo. He's got the fullback trap out for 5 more yards. Ekstrom was in the slot looking past. Nashua's linebackers went with him for one of the few times this afternoon, and Mayo picked up 6 yards, and that's going to end the third period. So the Crimson Tide trail at 32-13, but they have looked much better. Come back and join them for the fourth period. We'll be right back.
The Everett Arena Hockey Shop is now open 7 days a week, fully stocked with everything you'll need for another successful hockey season. They have the proper equipment for every level of a player's career, from the beginning player to college-level hockey. They'll match the level of equipment to the level of the player's competition. They carry a full range of recreational skates and figure skates. Whether your skating is for the local pond this winter or figure skating, the Everett Arena Hockey Shop has the proper skate for any level of competition. And you're going to find very sharp prices on skates with brand new children's ice skates starting as low as $31. They're open Monday through Friday, noon to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays open all day starting at 8 a.m. Major credit cards accepted for everything in the way of hockey equipment, from the mite to the college player, plus sharp prices on figure and recreational skates. It's all available at the Everett Arena Hockey Shop. And go get them, Crimson Tide, in today's Class L playoff football game.
All right, Concord High School has the ball to start this fourth period here from Holman Stadium. They trail at 32-13. Backs are split behind Ryan McGonigal, the junior quarterback. He takes the ball, he runs to the right, he tries to go off tackle, and Nashua gang tackles him right there. We've seen that play go late in the season where Ryan McGonigal, instead of handing it to a halfback through that tackle slot, he runs it through there. Jack Addy loves to run off tackle with his offense.
Sure does. They got the ball out now to the 44-yard line, and they have a third down, and scoreboard says 3, but, well, yeah, now I guess they moved the chain back a little bit. Anyway, it is a 3rd and 3, and they're at their own 44-yard line.
All right. Milliken is flanked out on the right side. Backs are split. Mayo through. He needs 1 yard for the touchdown, and there's a big fight for the ball as Mayo dropped it and then picked it up again, and he retains possession, and I think he's got the first down.
Little wishful thinking there. It's not the touchdown, Harvey. He's going for the first down.
What I said, touchdown?
Yeah, 32-13 with Concord on top, and it is indeed a first down. And Harvey, interestingly enough, Concord now has, 7 first downs in the second half. Nashua has none. Of course, Nashua's only had their hands on the ball for 4 plays, 3 and out.
All right, McGonigal looks at the clock. He sees 19 points behind and 11 minutes to do it. First man through is Mayo again, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage on a nice defensive play by the nose guard, Ray DeRusha, and Isaac Davis, the linebacker, in the middle.
This kid Davis is really put together, Harvey. I mean, like I say, obviously he has done some toning of his body in the weight room.
6'2",
good-looking kid.
215 pounds.
Well, they do have a senior on this team.
Yeah, he's one of them. He's got great hands, too. He's made a couple of nice pass receptions here.
This is a young Nashua team, too. We might want to point that out.
2nd and 7 for the Tide. They give it to Mayo. He pitches around the right side. He gets to about the 50-yard line, and then he's going to be thrown down. That brings it closer to that first down marker, though. 3rd down and 5 for the Crimson Tide.
Yep, they're just outside the 45-yard line of Nashua now. 3rd down and 5.
Concord has held on to the football for most of this second half, but it's the long possessions that's really hurting them. They have too many points to make up here. They've really got to get it more in a hurry. Backs are split now for the Crimson Tide. Milligan in the slot right side. Mayo gets the call. He's through the middle, and he's close to the first down marker, but then he gets pushed back.
We'll have to see where forward progress marks it. It looks like it's going to be about 3 yards shy, Harvey, so pickup of 2 yards on the play. It brings up a 4th down and 3, and another one of those calls from the 43-yard line. No question here.
No question that he's going to go for it. With the pressure is, what is he going to call?
Yeah.
Coach Jack Gaddy, 3-0 here at home as a Concord High coach. He's 6-7 lifetime against Nashua High, 4-1 against Nashua as the Concord High coach. All right. McGonigal takes it, and then he gives it to the runner. He's through the line, and he's got a first down if they spot the ball. Good fake pass by McGonigal. He faked the pass and then put it right in Mayo's stomach, and Mayo scooted through on the right side for the first down.
Concord has 16 first downs in the ball game, Harvey. 6 for Nashua. And yet Nashua has, as you say, the 19-point lead. So they are up over the Nashua 40-yard line now, down to the 39 with a 1st and 10.
All right, Milliken is out on that left side in the slot. The give is to Donnie Ross this time, and he comes across the left side, picks up a couple of yards. Concord keep it on the ground, and using up a lot of minutes here. 8.5 minutes left to go.
Now, they took this ball over with 51 seconds left in the third quarter, Harvey, and this is after a drive that lasted 8:29 of the third. And now they've held it for almost 5 minutes here, and they've just got to move quicker. That's all
they definitely have outplayed Nashua in the second half. They've outscored them 6-0 and kept the ball for most of this second half. McGonigal fakes the one back, fakes another, sprints the left side, puts it in the air, long pass downfield, and it's almost intercepted. It was intended for Ryan Gott down there, and it was almost intercepted. But the defensive back could not hang on.
Well, that was close, too, as the defense turned to offense, but he just wasn't able to catch the ball. And that was one of those gamble plays on the defensive player's part, as it went right through his hands. And had Gott been able to get it, he would have had some open territory between himself and the goal line, about 15 yards down the field.
Let me say Gary Gott, not Ryan Gott.
Okay.
We don't want any sibling scrabbles tonight. All right, McGonigal puts it in the air. He's got a man open. Ekstrom on the screen, pass right side, across the 35, down close to the Nashua 30-yard line. They have to get to the 34 for a first down.
And they are going to mark the ball just at the 30-yard stripe. And
fourth down again, another big fourth down play coming up for the Crimson Tide.
Yes, indeed. 4th and 2. We've seen a bunch of them.
Quarterfinal action from Hallman Stadium in Nashua. I'm Harvey Smith along with Bruce Lavoie. 1450 Sports Radio. We're on late this afternoon because of the SAT examinations. And we had a 2:30 kickoff here. 4th down and 2 for the Crimson Tide. And now Concord wants to take a timeout to look at it. We will send it back quickly and be back here to see if Concord can convert yet another 4th down. Stay with us.
Whether your sport is running, aerobics, basketball, rollerblades, or football, Joe King Shoe Shop has a large selection of styles and sizes to fit your every need. Top manufacturers like Reebok, Saucony, and New Balance ensure the quality you expect and deserve. 18 Pleasant Street and the Joe King's Outlet on North Main Street in Concord offers an extensive line of athletic apparel, too. Shorts, sweats, tees, running tights, and jackets. Joe King's and Joe King's Outlet, your sports connection.
Okay, we are back here at Holman Stadium, and to set the scene for you, 7 minutes, 17 seconds left in the ball game. Concord has a 4th down and 2 on the Nashua 30-yard line. They trail in the ball game 32-13, and that pretty much says it all right there. Concord needs some points. They need some in a hurry, and what they've been doing here in the second half is outplaying the Purple Panthers. Nashua's had their hands on the ball for only one series, 3 and out, and Concord has controlled it other than that, but the thing is that they aren't putting the points on the board quickly enough to catch up in this football game, but they are showing that they can play with these Purple Panthers, at least here since the intermission.
All right, here we go with the Crimson Tide. Milliken slot on the right side, back split behind Ryan McGonigal. They give us to Mayo, the fullback, across the 35, down the 30, down inside near the 24. I think that Mike has enough for the first down for Concord High. He's had a great game here. Can't lose sight of the great game that Mike Mayo is having for Concord High as he gets them another 4th down, first down.
Absolutely. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left here in the game, and now the clock begins to move again. They're down to the 27-yard line with a 1st and 10. And, Harvey, I can only remember once in about 5 tries where Concord has been stopped on a 4th down play.
That is, I think it's 1 for 6 today. All right. First down, Mayo. Fullback, right up the middle he goes. 5, 6, 7 yards. Concord High marching down the field and keeping the ball out of the hands of the high-powered Nashua offense. And I think it's very clear what Jack Addy and the kids discussed at halftime. Let's go out and win the second half.
I think that is the case. They are just inside the 20-yard line. We're going to have to call it the 20. It'll bring up a second down and a short 3 for the Crimson Tide. And they've dominated the second half. If they play the whole ball game like different score.
All right, same formation. Slot on the right side. First man through is Mayo again. He gets the call. It was second down and short from the Nashua 20. It's not going to be a first down, but it's going to bring up 2 cracks to get the first down from very, very short. 6 minutes to play. Concord High has held on to this football since, I think you told me, 57 seconds to go in the third period.
51,
and
yep.
5:59 to go here, so this entire fourth period. And Crimson kids are playing with a lot of pride. They're still playing with emotion. They're staying focused out there, and they trail at 32-13, but you wouldn't know it from watching them operate out there. And if they're going to lose, they're going to go out swinging. You can see that. Pitch to Shane Stafford, right side, crosses the 20, down to the 15-yard line. They had to get to about the 15. He was tackled between the 14 and the 15, and as they unpile, the officials indicate that it is a first down for the Crimson Tide. Yep, first down for Concord.
18th of the ball game, and 10 of them coming in the second half.
Well, Dover High's offense has been of the spectacular variety. Their shortest touchdown run was a 14-yard plunge. Actually, read 14 yards. They had a 15-yard touchdown pass to Davis, and then it was all big stuff. As Concord High is now down to the 14-yard line. McGonigal gives it to the second man through this time, and he's thrown for a loss right in the Crimson Tide backfield. Matty Race, a 91-yard kickoff return for Nashua. And Glenn Garner, a 60-yard run back after a pass interception, who led a 34-yard touchdown pass to LaFontaine. That was set up previously by a 45-yard pass from Ouellette to LaFontaine. So Nashua has been able to come up with a big play here. 4:42 to play in this Class L quarterfinal contest, and the Crimson Tide have the ball down on the 15-yard line of the Purple Panthers. A pitch to Stafford. He tries the left side. He's thrown for a loss back at the 21-yard line. As the Nashua High defense is starting very, very stingy as Mike Dowling comes in and puts the hit on Shane Stafford. Mike Dowling is a 5'11", 215-pound junior, not to be confused with the Mike Dowling of Channel 5 sportscaster fame.
That really is the first time that Nashua has been able to stop Concord here in the second half. The first time they've been thrown for a loss. 3rd and 14 from the 20-yard line for the Tide.
Ryan McGonigal go to the air here. 3rd and 14. The fake to Ekstrom. He's back to pass. He gets sacked back at the 25. Oh, was he hit back. Mike Dowling in again for his second sack in a row and physically threw Ryan to the ground.
Yeah, Dowling has just taken over and said, okay, this is enough of this. We're going to stop him right here. And he has done it with consecutive losses, the first one of 5 yards, this one of 10 yards, all the way out to the 30-yard line. Actually, now they mark it inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. Brings up a 4th down and about 22 yards now for the Tide.
Concord will go for the downs here. They call a timeout here to discuss this play, but it is 4th and 22 for the first down and 4th and 24 for the touchdown. So I imagine they'll use all of the end zone and see what they can get through the airwaves here. Other games going on today. Trinity is over at, haven't had a chance to hear what's going on over there. Maybe our man Mike Kilburn can call over there. And Dover is at Merrimack.
Merrimack leading 20-7 in the third quarter at last check on that one.
Class I semifinals this afternoon. Timberlane is at Somersworth and Lebanon at Laconia. And in the Class M&S semifinals, Fall Mountain is at Newport and St. Thomas is up there at Franklin. The I people will have their championship game next Saturday afternoon to be telecast on Channel 9 Live, I believe. And the M&S championship game will probably be in Newport next Saturday afternoon, and then we will have the Class L semifinals for you also. And it looks at this point like one of the semifinal games will be at Pinkerton, as Pinkerton is leading Memorial, and the other semifinal game, for all intents and purposes, will probably be at Spalding. I heard on the Trinity Spalding game, so that's just a guess on my part.
If I had to pick a winner in Class M&S, I'm going to say Franklin's going to upset Newport in the championship game.
All right, here goes the Crimson Tide, 4th down and 22. This is it for them in their season, a double reverse. And Shane Stafford has the football, and he's only going to get about 5 yards, an inside double reverse. Everybody was back, but the linebackers adjusted quickly when they saw, in fact, a running play, and they stopped the Crimson Tide. As Concord had 2 long drives here in the second half, and they really have had the territorial edge. They have held on to the ball for almost this entire second half.
They sure have. They certainly have. They took it over with 51 seconds left in the third quarter and held it all the way down to 3:22 of the fourth quarter.
Give the Purple Panthers credit, offensively and defensively. LaFontaine gets the call, and he is tackled in there. It looks like some new fresh shirts are in there for the Crimson Tide. Making the hit on LaFontaine was Timmy Thompson, one of the linebackers. It's good to see Tim back in here. If you remember, Tim was walked off the Dover field on crutches last Friday night. 2:42 to play here in the Concord season as they trail the Purple Panthers 32-13 in the L quarterfinals. The pitch is to Woodrow, who has not gotten many carries this afternoon, and he and Mayo have a terrific collision on there. You can hear the pads hit all the way up here.
I was going to say, you ask if they are still playing football down there. Well, there's your answer. I hope you could pick it up on the field, Mike. 2.5 minutes left in the game. 19-point lead for Nashua, and to have a hit like that at that point in the ball game, you know these kids are still into this ball game, even though the outcome is no longer in doubt. 2 minutes left here in the season for Concord High.
All right, the Purple Panthers, 3rd down and 6. They give it to Boudreau again. He tries the left side. He cuts up inside and prevents a loss, but he doesn't get the first down. And the Purple Panthers punt it here with a 4th down and short.
Well, if they do be their second punt of the game, both of them coming here in the second half, they've only had the ball. That was the 6th play that they've run, really, except for the punt that they did after the last time they had their hands on the ball. So it brings up a 4th down and a long one for the Nashua. They're on their own 33-yard line, and they're going to go for it.
Here they go, the Purple Panthers. They don't want to give up the football. Quarterback sneak by Bryce Soulette. He steps ahead, and he's out near the 40-yard line. And if they spot it there, Oulette has given Nashua a first down. The Crimson Tide of Concord High have 1 minute and 17 seconds left of their 1991 season.
They set it back far enough, Harvey, so now they're going to bring the chains out and measure here, and it's in doubt. If they had marked it at the 40 where he originally went down, there's no question, but they've marked it back to about the 39, and he does have it by about the length of a football. First and 10 for Nashua.
For the Nashua High, last won a championship back in 1981, I believe, or 1980. No, 1980. Matt LaPolice kicked a field goal in overtime to give Nashua a title in the mid-'80s.
Nashua's first down of the second half comes with 1:06 left.
The pitch is to Nate Woodrow, the senior running back, and he gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage and then takes a pretty good pop from Matt Ekstrom. And that may be Matty Ekstrom's last tackle of his senior career. He came into the game with 31 tackles for the Crimson Tide.
Hearing some of the people from Nashua talking during the halftime festivities here, Harvey, they were saying, well, we got to play so that nobody gets injured in the second half. They've had to play for their lives here in the second half. Concord has dominated.
Concord has won the second half, 6-0. They give it to Race this time, and he comes up to the line of scrimmage, and Concord piles on him. And the Nashua Purple Panthers last won the state title back. Matt LaPolice kicked a 27-yard field goal in overtime to defeat Portsmouth, and that was the situation when Nashua and Portsmouth met on the last regular season game a week earlier, and LaPolice beat Portsmouth with a field goal in that one, and then he turned around and did it a week later. And we are down, and that's the end of the game. You can look at high school season has come to an end here on dark, gray, dreary Holman Stadium in Nashua, as the Purple Panthers of the Gate City have defeated Concord 32-13. And both teams out on the midfield area now shaking hands. And as a matter of fact, when the gun sounded to end the game, several Concord High players immediately went to the Purple Panther huddle and started to shake hands rather than wait for the two lines to form. That is traditional at the end of a high school game, and it was nice to see the Crimson Tide kids in a great show of sportsmanship right there. The coaches leave the pack. Jack Gaddy walking around, kind of stunned. You know, the man is hurt. He put a lot into this season. He especially put a lot in the off season to get ready for this year. And I think the Concord High kids did a nice job all year long. This Nashua team, folks, Don't let that 7-1 record and easy schedule fool you. They didn't have the opportunity to be tested, Bruce. They're a good team.
They sure are. And Harvey, you look back to 1 year ago today when Concord was defeated soundly by Trinity 35-0 in the same quarterfinal playoff game, so to speak, after a 4-4 season. A whole different feeling with the Crimson Tide this year. They finished the year at 5-3, and they get thumped pretty good here in the quarterfinal game by Nashua, but it's a 32-13 defeat, but it's a different feeling than it was a year ago. This team deserves to be in the playoffs, and I'm not sure last year's did.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I really want to say a special hello and a goodbye to Gladys Hartz, Alfred Halden, and Blanche Ross, who have been with us all year long, and they may not be tuned in for our post-game and our replays here, but we thank you folks for your patronage and hope that you'll come back and join us for Concord High football next year. It's nice, no matter where we are out there on the road, what time of day or night we're broadcasting, that you guys are back there carrying the torch for us, and they've been loyal fans for us.
They sure have. We appreciate them being with us, too. Why don't we go right into our post-game show here on WKXL AM this afternoon, and I'm not sure, maybe the FM has joined us by this time as well. The UNH Wildcats came up with a big 45-26 win over the Terriers of Boston University this afternoon at Cowell Stadium in Durham. A big win to keep the Wildcat Express on the track toward the Yankee Conference Championship. And that was a big win for the Cats this afternoon. And we'll have more on that next week when the Wildcats play again. They have a big game coming up in Villanova either next week or the week after. At any rate, here this afternoon, it was basically all Nashua in the first half. Nashua would take the opening kickoff and march down the field 73 yards, 7 plays. Took 3 minutes for them to get into the end zone on a 14-yard pass by Bryce Roulette to Isaac Davis.
All right, he sends Isaac Davis, 6'2", end out on the right side. He puts Chadlaw Fontaine in the slot on the right side, and he has Bryce out on the right side, and he's looking right to pass. Ouellette has the ball in the air. He's got Davis at the 5, at the 3, the 2, the 1. He's in. Touchdown. Ouellette to Davis, and Davis did the work from the 5-yard line as he carried 2 or 3 Concord High kids right into the end zone with him. He's a big kid, 6'2", 215 pounds, and Ouellette is 4 for 4, and he picks up his 8th touchdown pass of the 91 campaign.
And Isaac Davis, as we said, we talked about him several times in the during the game. He is a one put-together youngster, and he is a very impressive football player here in 1991 for the Nashua Purple Panthers. Concord would come back on its very next possession and run the ball down on 57 yards, 8 plays, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. It would be a 34-yard touchdown run by Mike Mayo.
Well, Concord got crap. Mayo has it. He's through the middle. He's past the linebackers. One man to beat. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Mike Mayo! As he went right through the middle on the fullback trap, and Concord High ties it up. A 34-yard touchdown scamper by Mike Mayo has really come on of late over the last 2 or 3 weekends for the Crimson Tide.
And indeed, Mike Mayo did come on, ran it in 34 yards for the touchdown, making it 6-6 rather at that point. Some would give Concord its only lead of the game after touchdown, and it would be 7-6 with Concord leading. That is until the ensuing kickoff.
Fontaine comes right over the pitcher's mound at the 30. One man to beat out at the 40-yard line. He beats him, and now he's a foot race. He's going down the sideline at the 50. He's at the 40. Only Ekstrom has a chance. He's not going to do it. Matt Race is going to go all the way. 91-yard touchdown return. And no flags are down. And just like that, Nashua is back on top. And for the 7th time this year, the Purple Panthers run a kickoff back for a touchdown.
And it was a 12-7 count at that time as the point after touchdown, a 2-point conversion attempt failed, and Nashua is up, as I said, 12-7. They would add 6 more points on a 14-yard touchdown run by Matt Raish, and that would cap off a 30-yard drive, 1 minute and seconds, and the Purple Panthers would punch it in again before the first 12 minutes were over. This after a fumble recovery by the Panthers.
High formation. They're going to keep it on the ground. Raish has the call. He dances at the 15, to the 10, to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Matty Raish.
His second consecutive touchdown of the game, and as I say, the point after touchdown was successful this time as Ouellette was able to just barely sneak inside the cone in the left corner of the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And Willett, Raish, and company from Nashua have a 20-7 lead. The Purple Panthers would score twice in the second quarter, once on a 60-yard pass interception of an underthrown Ryan McGonigal pass.
Back. He fires up his back foot. It's a short ball, and it's going to be picked off by Nashua. Coming back across the 50-yard line. The defensive halfback is in Concord territory. He's at the 35. He's down at the 20-yard line, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. One man to beat. Touchdown. Flag is down. A flag is down, but running it back is Glenn Garner, a defensive back. And that is the third time this year he has intercepted a pass. The first time he's run it back for a touchdown.
And the flag went against Concord, and the Nashua lead would be 26-7, and that would be after a failed two-point conversion attempt, again, by the Purple Panthers. Lo and behold, Nashua would put still more points on the board in the second quarter of play. Again, a Willett, this time to Chad Fontaine, 34-yard touchdown pass.
Now they send the big three to the left side.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Raish is out there. LaFontaine is out there. Ramon Miranda is out there. Willett puts the ball in the air, and LaFontaine has it. And a short pass. He's at the 15. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He makes a break into the end zone. He's having an outstanding game here. Chad LaFontaine, a 34-yard touchdown pass from Willett to LaFontaine for Nashua's fifth touchdown here this afternoon.
And it would give the Purple Panthers a 32-7 lead, an 80 drive, 8 plays, 4 minutes and 8 seconds to put the ball into the end zone after they took over following the Concord punt. And finally, in the halftime, by the way, ended with a 32-7 count in favor of the Nashua Purple Panthers. Concord would get the only score in the second half. It came on a 71-yard drive, 16 plays, 8 minutes and 29 seconds, and it was a goal line dive by somebody that we've called many times this year, getting into the end zone. One, Mr. Andy Milliken.
Concord trailing 32-7 and needs some scoring in a hurry. T formation right from that 1-inch line. Long count. They give it to Andy Milligan. He dances. He's in the end zone, left side. Milligan with his 12th touchdown of the season. And the Concord High kids across the way in the stands come alive, and they finally have something to cheer about.
Well, they did indeed have something to cheer about at that time, as Concord had a 32-13 deficit, a 19-point deficit to make up, but at that point, they still had plenty of time to go. There was, after all, 3 minutes and 6 seconds left in the third quarter. Nashua would get one more shot at the ball in the third quarter. Concord would take it over with 51 seconds left in that quarter and hold on all the way to 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. Another long drive, but they came up short as they were stopped on a 4th and 22 at the Nashua 28-yard line. And for all intents and purposes, that's where the Concord season ended right there. Nashua would take the ball over, as I mentioned, with 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. They would get one first down along the way and just basically run the clock out for a 32-13 quarterfinal win over the Concord High School Crimson Tide. And Harvey, I think Concord accomplished what it wanted to do, which was, as you've mentioned several times, come out and win the second half.
And they did just that, winning the second half 6-0. And I think they can really get on the bus with a little pride and everything. They could have packed it in, being so far behind at halftime, 32-7. But they came out with a great effort. You probably could detect, Bruce, some of the frustration of the people here. Some of the Nashua coaches and some of the Nashua personnel, the stadium announcer, the scoreboard operator, a little frustrated with the Nashua at the second half. But Concord High was playing a great game, and
I guess
that's just what they should have done.
I guess they expected it to go on after the first half, as it did in the first half, and wind up 64-14 or something like that. But a Jack Gaddy coached team does not fail like that in the second half. We saw it against Spalding this year. We saw it against Portsmouth this year. We saw it against Nashua here tonight. I almost said Pinkerton, but Pinkerton is just in another league. They're just so different. But I'll tell you, if Nashua gets through to play Pinkerton in the finals 2 weeks
I think
from today,
you got the makings of a great semi. If Nashua has to play Spalding, I can see a 50-51 final score, something over there, as both those teams I feel they have a shot at Pinkerton. And Hugo Boland has been wanting a shot at Pinkerton since that early season loss. And maybe, just maybe, Hugo has a little bit too much defense for this Nashua team. I don't know. But you know what is similar, Bruce, is that Nashua plays very, very few guys both ways. And, of course, Hugo is famous for using 11 new kids on defense. And so that could be a great game next week.
Oh, it sure could. Sure could. We have some more statistics handed to us.
Rusty Coffin has been so
Coffin,
good to us all year.
Absolutely. Concord in the first half had 118 yards rushing and 96 yards rushing in the second half. And passing, Ryan McGonigal only had 7 yards passing in the first half, 32 in the second half. So 125 yards total offense for Concord in the first half, 128 total yards in the second half. So Concord, 214 yards on the ground, 39 via the passing route, 253 yards total offense here this afternoon. Now listen to these numbers, folks. Nashua had 53 yards on the ground, 157 yards passing by Willett in the first half for a total of 210 yards. They only had 13 yards on the ground in the second half, 2 yards by Willett's arm, 50 yards total offense in the second half. And I'll tell you, it comes out a lot closer than people would think when they look at the scoreboard. Nashua was only 66 yards, 159 yards passing, 225 yards in the second half. So Concord rushing outrushed Nashua on the ground, 214 to 66 in the game. And Nashua outpassed Concord 159 to 39 in the passing route. So Concord wins the territory battle, if you will, 253 to 225 total yards, but Nashua wins the game. And I think the big statistic right there, only 15 yards of total offense for Concord in the second half, for Nashua rather, in the second half. Pretty impressive.
Very, very impressive. And the Purple Panthers will go on to play another weekend as they will advance to the semifinal round next weekend. Where we'll be next year is because right now the scheduling is up in the air as there's been a move on at the NHIAA with the scheduling committee, and they are in fact going to realign football because putting the teams into divisions by enrollment, quite frankly, hasn't worked. 18 teams in Class L has been cumbersome. 5 teams in Class M&S hasn't really made a season for those kids. Really an asterisk to the champion of that division. 5 get into the playoffs, and then you see some great teams like Portsmouth and Exeter in L sitting home, and they have some good football teams.
That's right.
So, I've been told that one of the proposals would be to come up with a Division I of about 14 teams, a Division II with 10 teams, and a Division III, back to the old Division III, with Plymouth, Hanover, Somersworth, Brady, St. Thomas, Falmouth, and Franklin, and Newport, and 2 surprise teams in that division. Milford from Class L will go all the way down to M&S because they're going to lose half their enrollment with the new high school, Souhegan High School out of Amherst, and both Milford and Souhegan will play in the lower division, and what a ball game that will be head on with those two.
How does New Hampshire get a high school named Souhegan? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but don't tell the Atlanta Braves. They got enough trouble with them. So the real one swing team that they're not sure of yet here in the state is Portsmouth, but because of the Pease Air Base closing, Portsmouth has been devastated in its enrollment and numbers, and they really have the enrollment for Division II or Class I now, and they have to make a decision on which way they're going to go.
That's one of those schools that I just can't see in anything but Class L.
I know.
mean, they've just always been there.
I know, but Bruce, the numbers aren't there for them anymore, and
that's right.
They have that beautiful, brand new athletic facility, and the bonding was passed just 2 nights before the decision about Pease Air Force came down. So
I didn't know it was that close.
So the 2 teams that would drop out, well, we told you about Milford, but Exeter would come out, and Winnicott would come out into Division II. That would bring it down to 15 teams, and if Portsmouth came out, that would be 14 teams. Bishop Girton and Trinity have the enrollment for Class I, but would petition to stay up there. So maybe manageable, and if they could take this Division I and make it into 2 7-team divisions, that would be a little fairer. And in terms of teams getting into the playoffs. So, again, we will be somewhere next year with our WKXL microphones just after Labor Day to open up the season for you. And, again, be looking at the newspapers and on our radio station for this story on the realignment. I think it's been a long time coming now.
I think you're right. It's something that really needs to happen.
It certainly does. Well, the final score here from Holman Stadium in the Class L quarterfinals, the Nashua Purple Panthers did a number on the Crimson Tide of 33-13. My thanks to Coach Jack Gaddy for all his help during the year getting this broadcaster ready. Jack was always there with the other teams, the scouting report for me. Wayne Roby, same thing at Bishop Brady. And Sandy Whalen, also at Bishop Brady, so instrumental in providing the broadcast team with information. And Rusty Coffrin, new man onto the Concord High School staff this year, stats and all kinds of information for us to go on the air with, and we thank him for his efforts, and we hope that he returns to that job, statistician for the Crimson Tide. Our thanks to Tommy Wright and Johnny Hardiman for taking care of us back there at Memorial Field. We broadcast all over the team, all over the state, Bruce, but make broadcasting at home a real pleasure because they take great care of us and a great facility there.
They sure do, and I'm glad you mentioned Bishop Brady because we do want to thank the folks, Sandy Whalen and Wayne Roby and the whole bunch of people who make those Brady games such an event, really, in the city of Concord with the big turnout and the exciting atmosphere that there is at the Brady games. And, we congratulate them on not necessarily a real successful season as far as wins and losses goes, with a 1-7 record, but nonetheless still an exciting time for Brady football fans. A couple of those games were real close and nail biters, and I remember the Plymouth game that we did, the opening game of the season, which was 24-6, as I remember. But it was tough. Brady was able to play with Plymouth at that point. It's just that Plymouth got on the board, and that 14-13 heartbreaker against Monadnock that we also broadcast. So we again appreciate Sandy Whalen's efforts up there and Wayne Roby, and also with the folks from Concord High who have made this such a tremendous season for us on the radio. Really been a tremendous help to us.
Yep, and also our thanks to the guys back at the station that have been on the board for us, Gard and Dale and Juan and Mike, and those guys for taking good care of us, Ed Millett, doing the taping. I know it's nagging with that tape there, and keeping us updated. The big bucks. Yeah, but it's been made our job easier to have professionals like them back there at the station, and my thanks to you, Bruce, for your fierce loyalty and another nice job here on the air, and I look forward to next year, and even more of a sincere thanks to your lovely wife, Angie, for some of those great lunches she provided this year. That was really a nice treat, so thanks to the both of you.
Well, you're very welcome, and next year it'll be our 5th year together doing the football full-time for WKXL.
So that's going to do it for 1991. The Nashua 32, Concord 13, the Allied Insurance Agency. Our thanks to them at 500 South Street on the Bowtown line at the Allied Insurance Agency. Your protection is their profession. S&W Sports Shops, our thanks to you guys at 238 South Main Street in Concord. When it comes to bikes, cross-country, and alpine skiing, bring the entire family to the leader, S&W Sports. And Woods & Banks, so loyal to high school sports over the last few years. They're at 197 Loudon Road in Concord, your locally owned and managed community bank. Denroy Shoes, another loyal member of the high school broadcast community here, 76 North Main Street in Concord, featuring athletic footwear for the entire family. And Jim Burney is a good sport, if ever there was one. He owns Burney Sports of Concord. And if you're outfitting a team for the fall or winter seasons, call Jim Burney at 224-2131. He'll come to your home or to your office. And we really welcome the new guys on this year. They've really done an awful lot for the youth of the community. The Capital City law firm of Rapp, Young, Pignatelli, and Hoyer. And on behalf of their clients and the community, we thank them.
And I also, let me put in right here, we also wanted to say a special thanks to the folks who joined us for the playoff tournament game with the Joe King Shoe Shop there in downtown Concord. Crimson Corner, right there at Concord High School.
And the people, they do a good job.
Open for your Christmas shopping to the public. You can stop by there and pick up anything that says Concord High. And also by our good friends over at Phil and Larry's True Variety Store on Warren Street, right across from Concord High School, and also the fine folks down at the Everett Arena Pro Shop, too, and Youngie's Florist also along this year for our high school.
Have you ever been into Youngie's Florist?
I have not.
Youngie used to be an athlete,
Yeah, of course,
he played hockey, and he's a real good guy, and I know a lot of people may be bashful about going in to buy flowers. Well, don't. Real men buy flowers for the women in their lives. And
they better.
Go in and see Youngie. Bobby Younger does a nice job in there, and he'll talk sports with you, but he makes you feel at home in there, and we thank him for his sponsorship.
Absolutely.
Too. So that's going to do it here in 1991. Concord High School. They had a good season. They just ran into a great Nashua team here this afternoon, 32-13. From Holman Stadium, for Bruce Lavoie, I'm Harvey Smith saying thanks for being with us all year. We'll see you next fall, everybody.